Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. I hope everyone is doing well. It's probably pretty late for some of you guys, but what are you going to do? Hello? We're here. It seemed like we were going to be late, but we kind of weren't, sort of. We were kind of late. It's okay. It's okay. Riley, hello. Great timing as always. That tends to be my motto. Time for some deforestation, hopefully. Except this time I don't have an axe, I have arrows. So that'll be a little bit interesting, but... Hello, Foggy Wombat. Rapul, hello. Hello, Scott. Good morning. Good afternoon. Kind of early here in the Philippines. 5:38 a.m. Holy. Good morning, Harkonik. You're up pretty early, but I also was up that early today. So I guess it makes sense. We're going to try some trees. I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to try some trees. Been a little bit since I've been there. So hopefully it goes well. I don't know. We are also going to attempt to cast magic over and over again. 5:30 p.m. here. Woke up an hour ago. Holy. Late night, huh? I actually had an early night. I went to bed at 6:30 yesterday. Basically knocked some stuff out, went to bed, woke up at 3 in the morning, and here we are. Woodcutting level, only level 10. We're still on to the normal trees. I can't quite do oak today. What's the goal today? To crank out some Atanus and maybe get a couple of Voltara belts. Will be the goal today. We got a 100 stack from Ataraxian yesterday. So we actually could go for a Tet belt, and I think that's going to be the plan, is to go for a Tet Voltara. We do have the one Voltara belt for now. So if I get more of those, then we'll be able to run with it. Fingers crossed for that. Kill 331 shamans today. I hope to have Jargon Warhammer soon. Are you like getting close to raid or? Okay, let's try some trees here. Get one of those, one of those. We will get a loot scroll on. We're already on Arsha. Our pets are not out though, but now they are. Now we just have to remember how to play the class. Can watch you butcher some innocent trees. Well, that's what we're doing today. We did have something else planned, but it seems to have not worked. It seems to have fallen through, so here we are. Like trees, come one of my favorite places to grind. I don't mind trees. It's not my favorite place. I like that it's a tower spot, but I don't like that there's so much downtime between mob spawns, especially at higher gear. I don't know. Tankiness feels okay though, so we're probably set for a while here. $23.31. You're getting there. Definitely getting close. Armor grind took me longer than grinding out my infinite pots. Holy. Unfortunate. I too don't like the trees. Has over 500 hours on effing trees. What are you gonna do? Maybe you just grew tired of them. Maybe they were okay at first and then you grew tired of them. Didn't even have a Tannis back then. Unfortunate. That's like the main reason to grind here now is the Atanis, but for Ironman, it makes a lot of sense to go for a Voltara belt, because Bassies are like a nightmare to grind for. I guess you could do the like crafting method, but given that they have the same success rate as Bassies, I don't know. In my head, it makes sense to go for Valtara and get the extra HP. Get the Warhammer, I'll start sending Cox Casey. Good luck. Good luck. Just gonna quick T-bow and both prayer scrolls. You got this. Easy game. Maybe we'll actually get to 62. Imagine. I got the foot pedal going. We're casting high alk over and over again. I am going to run out of stuff to alk, though. I did a little bit of alking yesterday. Try for T-ball on the main, so who knows? Maybe RNG crosses over. That was my hope with this account as well. The RNG would cross over and we'd actually, like, get a little bit lucky on this account, since we were so unlucky on the other one, but so far that's not happening. Make some profit with the Alks? Not really. I went for some like high volume stuff so that I didn't have to order a ton of stuff at once and keep switching it every like 10 minutes. The bracelets are pretty good money, but the U-bows, I think I make 112 per. So I'm not losing money, and I think that's the point. I was basically set to lose money before, and now we're technically making some. But I haven't really been watching my bank that closely. My first Karma heart drop in EU. Died inside my 7-year-old account hasn't seen one drop. Tragic. Tragic. You can't even like sell it to yourself or anything. Even if you're on the same region, you couldn't sell it to yourself. Same XP per hour is Telly's got the big GP loss. Yeah, fair. The actual leveling guide said to do both alking and teleporting, and I was like, that seems like a lot of work for me. I'm only going to do one. And for some reason I settled on teleport. So I was just going to spam teleport without alking. But 30 minutes of maneuver as well, of course. What's your mage level? 67? There should theoretically be a plugin on screen that you can see like my stats and my bank and my inventory and everything else. Did alk in combat was pain. Oof. I have so many things to work on that I don't really want to like actively do all of them, if that makes sense. I need something that I can do while I'm doing something else, which magic is pretty nice for at the current moment. 70 you can ice burst. Yeah, I'm probably not going to though. I will probably do the majority of my training with alking because I'm doing it right now. I have a foot pedal with left click on it, and I'm alking right now while grinding. So it's one of the easiest things for me to do is to just bounce my foot up and down and make progress. Hey Ryuichi, we're doing pretty good. The original plan for today kind of went out the window, so we kind of had to scramble a little bit last minute there, but we're set now. This was the plan yesterday, and then it kind of like changed. Now we're back to this. For some reason I can't see the plugin. Oh, you know what it is? It's because the account is logged in on the streaming PC and not the gaming PC. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's my bad. Doesn't work on the other PC. Another Tannis? Yeah. How close to health pot? We're like 25 away from the second piece, maybe? Somewhere in there. And then, obviously, we need the third piece as well, so... I've got the little one, but... That's all the progress we made so far. I do also have one of the mana potion pieces, so... 3 Girins from Black Shrine, what the heck? Not bad. Pretty good haul today. Or this week, I suppose. Hey, Rev. How's it going? Current goal for Magic level 75? Yeah. There is. I will have to buy more stuff, though. I'm definitely not going to make it to 75 with what I have. But we did make it to 72 range today. 72 and a half, something like that. Oh, I'm going to have to dump weight here. I'm not even running Agris. I'm not. Oh, I am running Agris. I'm not. Very overweight. Don't attack my horse, man. Don't do it? Okay, we're good. Yeah, I'm kind of just working off the goals that you gave me. So once I get 75 magic, I will work on something else. I've also been working on my cooking. That's up to 49 now, I think. What's your current gear? Exclamation gear at any time. But I can just pull it up for you. That's our gear for now. We did actually lose about 12 DP. Trying to go for Tet Bigs, because we lost the Kaffir levels that I extracted, and then we couldn't get it back to try at the end of the day yesterday, so... Sitting at duo right now. We might be able to get it to try today, though. I have come into a little bit more money, so maybe we'll make it today. Finished map. Pretty happy. W is free. 45 hours of sulfur. That's really unlucky. 3,040 miles of peel. That's not bad there. A little over average still, but he like really helped you make up for it, to be honest. Allowed to get the challenge stuff? No. No challenge tab, no Black Spirit safe, no mail. None of that. Get those stats, 70-75, should be able to do most easy bosses at a reasonable pace, yeah. Fair enough. Sky here, what are you going for at this grind zone? So this grind zone drops a Tannis elements, which you can use for potion pieces, and it also drops Voltara belts. So those are the two things we're going for, a Tannis elements and Voltara belts. Challenge tab would be nice for some of the events. If you can also then grab Pin Black Star and all, yeah. I think it's easier just to like outlaw the whole thing, to be honest. The benefit would be that I'd have access to stacks. But, of course, there'd always be the people, like, if I ever got a Pen Black Star, there would always be the people that are like, you know, you must have taken that from the challenge tab, even though I can, like, physically show them that's not the case. Easier to just not bother. I totally unbound the key as well, so my Y key doesn't actually do anything. I will throw on a destruction stone. I actually need to keep my inventory open as well. I always forget to do that.
Hello there.
Funny Sven just followed.
Hello? Funny Sven, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna have to switch my Elk stack soon. We're almost out. I don't know why the plugin wouldn't work on the when the game's open on the other PC. Actually, I do know why. It's because I don't have the plugin on that PC. Never mind. I answered my own question. That makes sense, I guess. Waiting with Kudum? Do Igor Bartoli logs. RIP. Have you already gotten one of the things, or would this be your first one? Or do you only need one now? It used to be 3. 3 Nuver things and 3 Kudum things, I think? Or maybe it was 1 Kudum thing and 3 Nuver things? Not too much longer of a wait, though. For like 7 minutes or something, and then you'll have to fight it for half an hour so it despawns. It'll probably die today. Hopefully. Sometimes it's a little tricky with Kudum. Doesn't always die. Okay, my stack is gone. I'm clicking nothing, so we gotta move the bows over. Gosh, my nose is itchy today. I don't know what it is. Maybe I ran into a cat or something on the way home. Clear this tower and then I'll switch my stack over. You only need 1, I think? Yeah, maybe they changed it. I know it was 3 neuter things, but I can never remember the Kudum thing. Hopefully they changed it, though. That was a bit overkill. Okay, let's move my stack. Q to there. Get back on magic. Alright, we're good. Gotta remember to stop with the horse after this as well. I think each tower is going to be like a quarter of my weight. Well, maybe not quite that much. This one's been 5% so far. %, 6%? Okay. $4K. Okay. We're actually halfway to 67 already. And we just hit 66 at the start of stream. That seems actually like really fast. Maybe it was actually a little bit ago that we hit 66, I don't know. Okay, so the thing might be back on. There's a solid chance the thing might be back on. Everyone's just a tad late today. I don't know if you guys were here at the end of stream yesterday, but I said we had something exciting happening today. Which may be still happening. We're trying to wake the boys up. Super early in the morning for Quinny. So... oh, we might die here. No, we're good. We're tanky. We're real tanky. We're real tanky. It's just a little bit late. It was supposed to be at 3:30 my time, and it's looking like it might be at like 4:15. Man, my foot is already getting tired. I have to switch feet. Go with this one. I'm there sadly, so I wait in anticipation. It is BDO related, so if you're hoping to be RuneScape related, sorry to let you down, man. Another Atanus, okay. We're actually getting somewhere on Atanus. 55, and we have 28 pities. Pretty good. Alright, we're just waiting on Quinny now, so when Quinny shows up, I will let you guys know. We here for both? Fair enough. Fair enough. I had all my titles and everything set, and then nobody showed up, so I had to switch them back before the start of the stream. That's why we were like a minute late today. But we'll get them switched back over here. I was going to do Tashira today as well. I was all the way over at Tashira because I needed something like very passive and AFK, so we might move back to Tashira to be able to do that. Somebody's 200 mil strength XP on free-to-play Ironman. The 1.8 mil flesh crawlers? I've never even heard of a flesh crawler. Don't know what that is. I'll probably end up killing that many rats before the end of it, though. Before the end of the chunk, man. Only healing 3 is not ideal. Oops, I always forget that I'm clicking, and then I go to move the mouse, and then I end up clicking where I'm not supposed to be clicking. Finals were once again a mess, even though they didn't do the 1v1s. Wasn't that the problem last time, or for the last couple of times? Is that the 1v1s are kind of messing everything up? I didn't actually watch them. I was at work, so I didn't even tune in at all. Broke the tower. No clue why I scared of Monkey Manus 1. Super easy. Yeah. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all, especially with parapots and stuff. I see the danger though, like if you're a hardcore, I could see the danger and the risk. It's like just about everything could kill you if you run out of prayer or if you disconnect or whatever. You're probably gonna die, but there's like the little house of asylum. I hung out in that little house area for quite a while. But now you gotta get your D-Sim, right? 100k for a D-Sim from the vendor, something like that. I think my chat broke. Once again, because you guys aren't coming through again. The Alcor bows before coming to get it. You don't have 100k laying around? Yeah. I think the most money I ever had was like 20k on the hardcore thing that I was doing. Clan called Rot was able to sneak bots into the final hour that gave him massive advantage apparently. We all knew that Rot was gonna like have people in every category, right? But bots is a little bit weird. Point out that this clan has run basically every DMM final ever. Well, at least they're having fun. Hopefully they're having fun at least. I don't know. I don't see the point in like doing that. Because the whole objective is to just have fun with PvP, but I don't know. Maybe that's their way of having fun. I seen the new GG episode where they show fails and bloopers. No, I haven't watched it. I was going to, but I did not. DDoS and contestants to exploiting? Yeah, I don't see what's fun about that, but whatever. Can't exactly like ban the whole clan from it, you know what I mean? Because then they could just change their name or drop out of the clan. Probably not even in the clan when we're actually on the DMM characters, so... Okay, should happen soon-ish. We are waiting for Quinny to wake up. He is 17 hours ahead of me, so... Pretty early for him, I think. It's also Sunday for him. I guess I don't even know what time that is. 12 is 4. So it's 9 a.m. for... He should have been up. The heck? Trying to sleep in on a Sunday? What the heck? We are gonna have to, like, switch spots again, though. Because my head is not gonna be in grinding. Rise Man? Yeah, 9 a.m. on a Sunday? What the heck? What's he doing? Okay, he's here. Okay. So, today, we are doing the first ever Ironman podcast. So we have a handful of people that are going to participate in the podcast. It'll be me, Quinny, Azure, and Gallum. Gallum is the organizer, so like, you know, he kind of put everybody together. People Skills was supposed to be here as well, but he is feeling super sick today, so he is not here. But everyone else is now. Just a little bit late, but it's okay. So let me get those guys started. I'll stop my music. I have opened a ton of stuff. Holy, I forgot I was clicking with my foot. Okay, we will stop that. I will go undeafen.
Yeah, not bad, dude. Not bad. Just on that grind, you know.
True. IRL and in video.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey. What's going on?
You guys can hear them, I take
My
it?
camera not working? I might need to restart Discord.
For me, it's
It's
just
just giving
loading.
us a little spinning, yeah.
Okay, how's the volume relative to me for them?
Oh man, I was up till 1 a.m. last night just to get a Tet Debo ring tap.
Little low volume? It seems super loud.
Technical
Dedication right there, man.
difficulties.
It definitely didn't succeed, but
How about now?
we're one closer to the success. So that's all
They're
good.
as loud
Your
as me now.
ears? Oh no. What's wrong?
Uh-oh.
Let's think.
I'll talk really quiet till you get it sorted.
There we go. I forgot to mute one of the channels.
Good.
We're good. We should be good now.
Sweet.
Okay. Okay, we're all set.
Oh yeah.
Is that better, Arius? Okay, I'm gonna leave for a minute. I'm gonna try restarting Discord.
Okay,
Give
let
me
me
a
change my
minute.
titles and stuff.
Roger.
Please hold. They should update in the Twitch title and should be pretty easy for you to hover them and then give them a follow. Those are the folks here. I'll also change it on YouTube.
And I'm such a boomer. I had no idea that you could separate like a call outside of like an actual Discord.
What do you mean?
Like, you know how like we've obviously got this group, but we're not sitting in a Discord talking to each other. It's actually just like a,
Oh,
a
yeah.
separate call. I had
A
no
little bit
idea
more
you could do
complicated
that.
on YouTube, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I only came across from TeamSpeak like maybe a year
I have
ago,
a feeling. I know
if
what's
that.
happening.
Uh-oh. Camera troubles.
It might work.
You're not going to get a camera from me, boys.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's hooked up to the streaming PC, not the gaming PC, so you're out of luck there.
Ah, gotcha. F, dude. That's all right. Just have to get your stream up so I can see you.
Gotta get my RuneScape
Yeah,
back up.
I'm
Where'd it go?
kind of in the same boat. I don't know if it's gonna work on Discord for
Goodness.
whatever reason. Let me try one more time. Does not want to work.
Alright, let me actually change that setting back
think
as
I know
well.
why, but I don't know how to fix it. So
There's an overlay setting, which should allow them to pop up in the upper left over here. Maybe. Yeah, there it is. Okay. It's pretty small. I can't really make it bigger. But in the upper
Hey, so are we
left,
trying
you
to
should
keep this a
see
bit,
them.
bit more PG? Like, do I need to be less Aussie about all of this, or?
I personally don't care, but
I personally don't care either. I think if
I
we
know-
say
I know
it's fine.
Most of you guys don't swear at all, so.
I don't swear in my videos. I swear on stream.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work for me. I'm just gonna pull up my
Okay,
camera
we
and put
keep
it on my
grinding.
stream.
We
and
keep
just,
cooking.
Like,
Yeah.
make it.
You want me to have
Here.
my camera on?
Up to you, man. Up to you.
Hold on a second.
Oh, we might die? Okay, we're good.
Like no lighting on right now.
Can you guys even see that in the upper left?
Sorry
it
about that,
seems very
guys.
small.
I guess they
Yo.
couldn't hear me either.
Grind will never stop. We can't stop grinding, man.
There we go.
I'm alking and grinding and
I
doing
just have it up on
podcasts.
my stream,
We can.
covering my little
It
spot.
seems so
Okay, there we go.
small to me.
Perfect.
But as long as you can read it, I guess
All
that's
right,
fine. Or at least
so
recognize who's
everyone hear me
talking.
on my stream, by the
Who's
way.
hosting?
Sorry about
Gallon.
that. Forgot to
He organized the whole
unmute
thing,
myself.
so
I've no
Well,
idea, Galam. I reckon you could, if you put your stream up, full screen it, screen share in Discord your stream in the call.
that might work. I have it on my stream, so it's like my face is over on my stream. Let's see.
168p?
Right.
Oh, 160p, so I can't even read it when I look at the whole
I
screen.
can do this.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I can't get it to work.
160p is such an odd choice from Twitch as well. Not 144. 160.
Tough, man.
Such a
Yeah, dude.
such a weird thing.
Well, whatever. I guess let's just get started then. If everyone's all right with that. So I just
Yeah.
kind of wanted to introduce ourselves for whoever doesn't know each of us. So I guess I can start. I'm Gallum. I do Ironman, and as all of us do, and very much enjoy it. I started doing YouTube a little while ago, like 5 months ago, and I've been enjoying it a lot. So that's who I am.
Awesome. All right, I'll go next. I'm Quinny, mate. I'm also one of the Ironman. That's the whole reason we're here. I started doing an Ironman about 2 years ago on Twitch, and then about a year and a bit ago, or a year ago, started uploading to YouTube. And yeah, I've had an absolute blast doing it. It's revitalized the game for me, and yeah, having an absolute blast, and that's led me to meet you wonderful people. So yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever been in a call together, all of us.
Right.
It's awesome.
I'll go next. My name is Azure. I started doing Ironman, I think, in late February or early March after being persuaded by Quinny and Sickloot. And same thing with Quinny, I think it really revitalized the game for me. After hitting 700 viewer score, I think that the game felt a little bit stale. There was many more chores on my list to do after that point, and because it took so much longer to accomplish those things, I decided to hop into the Ironman grind, and I actually really love it. I think it adds a new perspective to the game, and so far it's been a blast.
I guess I'm last then.
Yep.
Hello, I am Sickloot. I am Iron Man turned Ultimate Iron Man. Basically, it's like an Iron Man, except I also can't use storage. I have been doing YouTube for a year and a week now, I guess. My anniversary was just last week, which is kind of interesting. And I think without the Iron Man concept, I probably wouldn't be playing BDO anymore. I'm pretty tired of like the typical gear treadmill, so finding a different way to play the game that makes it interesting, I think, is the reason I'm still here.
Yeah, kind of same here. Just like, I definitely don't think I'd be playing the game anymore if I didn't do Iron Man. I think it's just a super, super fun one to play the game. It just adds so much because you're doing so many different things, and it's just kind of crazy. I had a question for you, Quinny. So you're the one who came up with the name for this. Why? What? How did you come up with that?
Look, I've got a friend that works in tax, to say the least.
The group is called
and
Tax
we
Evasion,
give
for
him
those of
shtick
you
all the
unaware.
time about taking our money, basically our hard-earned money. And then I obviously related that to the
I'm not
concept
sure why,
of the
but-
fact that none of us basically pay the tax that we would if we use the marketplace and video. So it's
Yeah.
a bit of a funny concept for me to blend those two sort of like groups together and have a bit of a chuckle. But yeah, because getting away from the marketplace is kind of freeing as well. So I imagine tax evasion in real life isn't as fun, but yeah, I know we'd all love to do it.
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess I'll kind of start off now, I guess, with what made you guys want to do YouTube. So my biggest thing that I wanted to do was I just noticed a lack of like Black Desert content that wasn't just like stream and VODs, that was more like storytelling. And I saw what you guys were doing, and I just thought that was super
Okay,
cool.
I see
And,
what's
like I
very
had a
fun.
bunch of like RuneScape that I
Probably,
used to
yeah.
watch and stuff, and I just thought that was super cool. Those types of things, like different Iron Man, like Settled and stuff, and like all those big inspirations for me. And yeah, so I was wondering what made you guys want to do that too.
Okay, I mean, I can go first, I guess. I started when I started playing Iron Man. It was to me, it was like a little bit like Sickloot has said before. It's like a proof of concept. So much like his ultimate is at the moment. Just like, is it possible, and how far can you take it? Just talking to my friends about doing an Ironman in BDO, they were like, "You're an idiot. What do you mean you're not using the marketplace? What do you mean you're not spending money on the game? Like, how is that fun? You know?" And so I thought a bit similar to you, how you said, you know, that I felt like that was a lack of content. That was kind of like a journey. Really, the only person that I knew that was doing it was someone like Fake Uniform. He was the only one doing, especially really good storytelling content at the time. So I just set out with the plan of I'm just going to
Whose
record
squad
it,
needs to be here
and
now?
if
He's
I
not an
enjoy
Ironman,
it and I
so
stick with it, I'll do something with YouTube for it.
if he played Ironman, I'm
because
sure he would be invited.
It's just, I guess it was a gap in the market for me as well. Like, it's not all about, you know, I guess clout, but I saw that there was no content related to it, and I'd been spending a lot of time playing RuneScape at the time, and loved the idea of Ironman. The fact that you learn so much about the game, how much just a wide variety of knowledge, and you're forced to do things that you wouldn't on a main account. So you open up so many more avenues of fun, I guess, to put it bluntly. I guess not many people would consider some of the things we do fun, but yeah. So then to put it on YouTube was interesting. It's never something I've never done before. I've never done video editing. Obviously, there's great examples of what you can and can't do in video editing out there. Learning the things around copyright and all of that stuff's been really difficult. But yeah, that was pretty much my motivation for doing YouTube. Was it looked like fun. I wanted to document the journey, and yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I don't regret a single thing about it. Hey.
Okay, so I guess if we're gonna go in order, I guess I'll go next. So for me, YouTube has kind of, I want to say that I kind of grew up with YouTube. I remember being, I think, like 8 or 9 years old whenever YouTube came out, and in my middle school years, like my 7th and 8th grade years, I quite literally would run home from the bus and then just hop in a Skype call and then sit there and make videos with my friends online. And I think that that's just developed into what I've done today. Even though I had no reason behind it, like no motivation, I just thought it was fun. It was just something that naturally came to me. And due to that natural draw to it, I further pursued it into college, and that's what I study now, film and video production. And I think that using Black Desert and just video games is an outlet for me in order to showcase my abilities and display what I've learned. But I also think it's really fun. I think in a niche game like Black Desert, even though its name has been thrown around tens of thousands of times, like a lot of people in the MMO genre know what this game is, there still is such a small pool of content creators on YouTube for the game. And not that it's a bad thing that the Twitch scene is oversaturated for it, but whenever I dove into the YouTube scene on Black Desert, that was one of the few things that I noticed that I think the only person that I remember seeing at the time who Quinny mentioned was Fake Uni, who really made storytelling content where there was people that were in the scene that made things like it or similar. Like there's tons of Road 2 series, but there was only so many that stuck out, like Fake Uni, and he was a big inspiration to me whenever I first started making content about the game. It went from me just compiling clips over montage music, and then it turned into me actually trying to like write scripts and trying to narrate on top of my clips to have a direction from point A to point B to eventually tell an entire story. And over the past few years, that's just where my channel has evolved into. And I think it's a really fun thing to do as well. And I know that a lot of people out there have been interested in it as well, but they just don't really know where to start. So I think having people like us that do it, allow them to see it, because the same way that I saw Fake Uni, there's people that see
I'm just
us
gonna go to
that may
Shira.
want to do it as well. And I'm
This
very
is a little bit
grateful to be in the
spicy for
position
me
that
to be
we're
doing.
at. So
We'll just go to
that's where
Shira.
mine kind of stemmed from. And that's why I do it.
That's so cool, man. I love that shit. I love it.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
great.
think it's fun, bro. I just think it's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
I guess it's my turn then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started YouTube for a couple of different reasons. I guess the reason I got into the Ironman was because of Settled from RuneScape. His content is by far the best I've ever seen, and it kind of like motivated me to be interested in creating content like that. The reason I started on BDO is because I've been playing this game for nearly a decade now, and honestly, I should just retire from the game. But what are you gonna do? We're all kind of stuck here. The basic idea for me on YouTube was that I thought that the challenge would be more enjoyable if I had people to share it with. And I think doing it on your own is a whole new aspect of the game, and it is also fun. But I really wanted to share it with other people who might also be interested. And I didn't even know anyone else was doing it at the time until I had like 6 or 8 videos out, and then Quinny actually commented on one of my videos. And that was the first time I knew anybody else was doing something similar. So
Ooh,
Yeah, I
I, rem-
also
I remember.
I kind of was also in the same boat. I was like cooking up this idea of doing Iron Man and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be totally unique. And then I went looking like 3 or 4 days before I actually started making stuff. I was like, oh wait, this has already been done, but I figure I can give it my own spin, try it out. But yeah, definitely
it's
saw
just
your
hard
guys'
to
stuff and
like grind
yoinked a
somewhere
couple
tanky
things
and also hold my hockey down.
rules
So
wise.
we're gonna go to Tashira and just
But
chill
that's
out.
been fun. Is like to see how
Have a
different
nice.
everyone's journeys have been and all their like rules and everything like that. Things that they don't want to include, things that they do. It's been really cool to see, especially like taking six perspective where it's like just masochism turned up to 11. It's like I want to play the game my way. I want to play the game I want to play, which is like it's kind of fun because not many people get the ability to do that. Most games you kind of railroaded to playing the way you want to play, and to be able to take the reins back and be like, no, I'm going to create my own fun is the freeing part, I reckon.
Yeah, it's
Well, I think I've just had enough of the gear treadmill, you know? Like, once you get to the end
Yeah,
game in BDO, there is no content in
it's
this
the same
game,
shit.
despite what people say.
Mm.
Like, you just get gear to go in more circles, to get more gear to go in more circles. It's just a treadmill that I didn't want to be on anymore. So my options were create my own fun in a sandbox or to find another sandbox. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's funny
yeah,
that we've all ended up in the same spot too. Like the concept has spread, and we all like obviously RuneScape is one of the biggest, longest standing MMOs out there, and the fact that we've all kind of adapted to that same concept and gone, that actually sounds wicked.
Right.
Definitely is funny that we've all gravitated towards that, and like I imagine you guys are a bit the same. The amount of people that say to you, "Wow, that's insane," for, grats, or you know, that's such a sick concept, on the other hand, like you're insane. What are you doing? Why wouldn't you just play like normal? It's getting a lot of traction. A lot of people are talking about it and thinking about it, and people are making a lot of accounts based on just us,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
which is
definitely
crazy,
cool.
crazy.
I mean, for example, in my particular case, like how Sickloop mentioned Settled from RuneScape, I don't even play RuneScape. I've played it, I think, for 1 month in total. What do they call it?
Mhm.
What is the membership called in that game? A bond, right?
A bond, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
I had one bond. I think it was like my sophomore year of college, and I played it for 1 month.
that's really
And
some
I
stuff
had no
here.
idea what I was doing. I had like a general idea because it's an MMO. But for the most part, I watched people like Settled, and then I started watching Gilnor Games, which is like the
Mm.
collaboration of all the creators in OSRS. I watch all their videos. I don't know what's going on, even though I've been learning through their videos. But I think it's really cool to
Okay, we
adopt
good?
ideas that they've done on
Yeah, I don't have
RuneScape
to
and
do.
um bring them to BDO, just like how like the traditional Iron Man, no central market, no pearl shop, whatever. And then now seeing Sicklu's iteration of an Ultimate Iron Man with no storage, stuff like that. I think it's really cool that we're
Mm.
able to bring these ideas and these concepts to life in a different game. Where I'm sure that it's in other genres as well. I'm sure that there's games like Wizard 101 where it's an old MMO, but they probably do some type of challenge like that where they lock their level or do things similar to it. And I think it's just really cool that we're able to bring those things to this game. And I'm sure that over the next few years we'll be able to evolve and do more things than just what's to come right now. But I feel like we're in that first wave of that type of genre and like those challenges, if that makes sense. So
Mm.
hoping that this game continues to blow up and skyrocket. We hopefully will see other creators step into the field and take on their inspiration, because like you guys mentioned, the cool thing about this concept is that you get to make your own rules. Some people, I think that there was one guy who was doing like, if he gets an accessory drop or any item to drop on his own, then he can buy it from the marketplace, stuff like that. I think it's really interesting. So I'm excited to see what people make in the future or what they come up with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's like a series that I watched on RuneScape where they're just like, once I get it, I can buy it or whatever. But I've also
Yeah,
thought about
exactly.
that one. It seems like an interesting thing. I
It's
kind of
called
suggest
a
that to people.
it's called a
Bronze
bronze
Man, is it?
man.
Bronzeman,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
there's an
Bronze
official
Man?
RuneScape plugin for the bronze man, and it basically unlocks the purchase of it once you drop it, and it falls in your collection log. Then you'll be able to buy it from the GE.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Whenever somebody comes to me and is like, "Hey, I kind of want to play Iron Man, but I don't really want to commit to it." I'm like, "Oh, you should try out Bronze Man," and I explain to them the rules. And I don't know if anyone actually has started it, but I think it'd be pretty cool. I
Oh,
think it's
I
a
need to
pretty good
switch to
starting
Awakening
point.
actually.
Pretty good place for someone who's more
Now that
casually
I'm
doing
thinking
it.
about it,
Yeah.
actually, let's
I'm sure
just
that there
jump to
people
town with the
are
map.
that do it. It's just again the whole thing of the YouTube scene.
Then we'll
in
switch
Black Desert
to
just
Awakening.
not
Go
that
from there.
prominent outside of guides and tutorials. Not that those are
Yeah.
bad. I think that every game needs guides and tutorial videos, but I do really enjoy the video series of people doing Road to X series
Mhm.
and then just like implementing challenges on their
Yeah,
account. I think that
one.
those type of video series are
Jump
really
fan plugin,
entertaining to
really fun
watch.
system. Bunch of raffle get XP. Yeah,
Yeah, they're a good
we're
good
working on a
staple of
chunk,
most
man. Now.
like most games, especially that have a progression path.
Yeah.
You know, and people do like to invest, I guess, a bit of emotional energy in someone else's journey, especially you know, being content creators. They kind of, for some weird reason, people look up to us like we're, you know, important or to be
Tile man.
respected,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
just because we do it. So people kind of, they like to see someone that they favor succeed, you know.
Yeah.
So they get emotionally invested in it, and that's where the retention comes, is when you make like a connection with someone and they continue coming back because they want to see how you are, how you're going, how your progress is, you know. And you know, they fail with you, they suffer with you, and they succeed with you. And that's like a real like personalized kind of interaction that I really enjoy about it as
Yeah,
well.
They're on the journey with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that
That's
aspect
awesome.
of it. It's very fun. It's definitely like a nice community that gets built up around it, and
Okay,
it's
we're
very
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man, I need to enable my UI to actually go
All
back.
right. So I always get asked this question, and so I wanted to ask you guys it too, because I've given my answer before in one of my videos and on stream. But if you had a rule that you could break, what would it be and why? So like without
What a
consequence,
question.
and basically, so like my rules, my thing would be, I always said it would be getting a duo tree spirit belt just for the stupid log that I was trying to finish. That thing was awful to get. So that's what I've always
Okay,
said,
let's
but
roll it to Shiri here.
I was wondering if you guys had something similar.
Man, what a question. That's good.
That is a good question.
Uh,
Oh, I can't even one shot him.
The first thing
Look,
that comes to my
brother.
mind. Sorry.
I'm off Agris.
no, you go.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
still
the
sort of
first-
thinking.
The first thing that comes to my mind, I don't know if I'll be able to figure something out that's better than this. For my particular set of rules, I'm only allowed to have one character, so I'm limited by that. So I can't make boss ults, I can't make mules, I can't make like a season character to tag or whatever. With the recent edition of Dosa being released, I really do want to make that character, but whenever I think about it, it's okay, if I limit myself to one character and then I make a Dosa, I would then have to go back and redo all the quest lines, like Mountain of Eternal Winter, which these aren't incredibly long quest lines, but it's more so the tens of hours that I've already spent doing them, I don't want to do it again, kind of thing. So like, I would want to allow myself to make a second character, but at the same time, I feel like that goes against the integrity of the challenge whenever I first created it. So
Fair.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the only one that I would consider and it's not even a big thing really. Like off the top of the head, there's not a lot that I would like to change about my rules as such. But I mean, I've put up with them for 2 years now, so it's kind of like just taking it in my stride. But as far as things that are slightly inconvenient, is getting a villa buff. So like, obviously having a paid, like, you know, the it was at Nafart tent or whatever, the paid tent, just to be able to pop a villa buff would be cool. But it's not
my
necessary.
messages, guys.
Like, ultimately, it's like a 10 or 15 minute
That's
trip
to people skills
to go out to the
giant heart.
villa, get the villa buff, and then go to the grind spot.
He's feeling sick today, so.
But yeah, honestly, like, being free of the pearl shop's kind of good. Like, it's fun. I don't know. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but looking at the pearl shop and going, oh man, look at all that money I'm saving. You know, like, it's kind of like the temptation's not there. You know.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that too.
I think the reason that we do these challenges is for the fun aspect, right? So for me, I don't think there's a world in which I would change my rules, because the rules are the reason that I'm having fun, if that makes sense. And even if there was like a guilt-free loophole, I think that I, as a person, would just not enjoy the challenge as much because I took a loophole and I knew that I took a loophole. Even if it was like free of blame or whatever from the community, it's more of like a personal thing. The reason I'm doing this is not for the community, it's for me. And I'm just sharing it with the community because it adds an element of fun for me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Well said.
Yeah,
What about you, man?
Me?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Kong.
Oh, I already said just the tree spirit belt. That thing was the worst thing I've ever gotten. It took so long to get. It's soul sucking to grind out those stupid trees. I hate it so much.
I'm still waiting for an Orkenrad, dude. I feel you. The last thing standing between me and the HP gen of completion.
I finished it, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty good.
Now I'm clicking on a weird thing.
So I guess other things that I wanted to talk about was like, what are your opinions on some of the new updates they've done, like the condensing?
Such a
and
huge
stuff?
response.
How's that affected
Why
your
would you?
Ironman?
Why would you make the rules if you're going to break them?
I've had some pretty big effects with that. I can talk about those in a bit, but like condensing of the fruits and powders.
Why would you
and
make the rules if you're going to break them? You know what I mean?
Traces, I mean.
That's the whole point of having the rules.
Any other updates that you can think of?
I mean, besides the fact that when they did their first iterations of condensing, they put everything in the marketplace, and they did a lot of, they put items in there. Like when they did the life crystals, I had like eight of those vitality crystals, of the mastery ones, already made, slotted in. And when they changed them, they put them in my market. So I just lost 80 mastery straight out of the bag. And that was like, oh, that's in my market. That's gone. It's like, nice. And then a few of the other ones they did. I've got like 2.5 bills sitting in my market now for no other reason other than they just thought that was what people wanted. Given the past, they'd
would skip most of the grind, and you'd rather extend that grind. That's the fun for me, though, right? Is the challenge, the actual challenge aspect.
Why they pivoted away from that, I've got no idea. But look, we don't really question what they do. They're not going to listen to us anyway. But as far as the other consolidations in the way of traces and fruits and stuff, that's been phenomenal for me. That's a huge bottleneck released, because like things like trace of death, trace of violence were completely useless to me. Even trace of memory to an extent. Yeah. That was just like a dead piece of content, and now it's all consolidated into one. I've got that many fruits and traces that I could get to Guru 20 alchemy without running out of traces probably, and fruits. So it's good, I think, in the way of allowing people to have more access to materials, because as before, those archaeologist sacks and the farmers sacks and all of those things, they would split the usefulness among a whole bunch of different resources, so you could only make a certain type of alchemy or a certain type of item or anything like that. So now you can consolidate that into one direct path depending on where you want it. It's much nicer for everybody. Again, it makes it easier for us Ironmen, so depending on how you look at Ironman, making it easy is kind of cool, but also streamlining a process to make it faster is also, I think, a good thing for the longevity of a game like BDO, with the complexity that it has in items and recipes and things you've got to remember. To know that you just don't have to remember those things. You know, if it's got a trace in it, it's going to be one, or if it's got a fruit in it, it's going to be one. It just kind of, you can clear your mind a little bit when doing that stuff.
Yeah. I know for me, as soon as they consolidated all those boss Rs and stuff, I was like barely starting to work on boss armor and stuff, so that like saved me a whole bunch of grinding for that. And then same thing with the traces. I was actively working towards a boat, and I needed to go grind out a bunch of what you call them? They're in South Valencia, kind of by Wargons. The enormous. They were, yeah, those. They dropped traces of Earth, and I needed a bunch of those for something. And then like a few days later, they consolidated them as well. So I was just like, it kind of skipped out on some grinds that I was kind of wanting to do, but at the same time, I was like, I'm okay with it, whatever.
Imagine.
For me.
See these 5 inventory slots?
Imagine. I think that overall it's a better thing that they consolidated things for new and veteran players. On my main account, I didn't really do much life skilling and stuff like that, so whenever they consolidated everything, I was already playing on the Ironman account and I only viewed it as a positive. So I don't have as strong of an opinion on it. I'm just glad that there's fewer items and it's all in one now. That's like all I have to really say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, storage space is a big problem too. I'm constantly struggling. I hate it so much.
Okay, my turn, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so item consolidation. Aside from every freaking week having to put a clip in a video about how PA has ruined my Ironman account because they put something in my market or in my storage or whatever else.
Yeah.
The reason that the ultimate is theoretically possible is because of their item consolidation. If scrolls didn't stack, it would not be possible. If traces weren't all one, it would probably not be possible. Things like that. So the reason I'm even doing this challenge, because I think it's possible, is because of all their consolidation. The downside is that they keep putting things in my storage now instead of my market, which I now also can't use. So we're back in this infinite loop of PA keeps trying to ruin my freaking Ironman accounts.
I'll just say for Sicklu, I bet it's a big W because you are so limited by your space.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like the one thing
even for us.
Because I remember whenever I was getting into the Ironman account, I was completely oblivious that they even consolidated all the boss ores. Like I remember reading about it or hearing about it, but I didn't really. It was one of those things where I heard it one in one ear out the other kind of thing. And then once I got on the Ironman account and I looked at it, I went, oh crap, so I don't need 100 Zarka ores, I just need 100 boss ores overall. So that helped my progression a lot, and I think it would help every other player's progression, Ironman or normal. So
yeah, so on my regular Ironman, I spent 8 months trying to get Uragons, and the year it took me to finish the challenge, I still didn't get Uragons. I had to hand my Muskins into Jatina and have her swap them to Uragons. And by the end of it, at 700 gear score, I still didn't have a pair of air guns. So the consolidation of the auras has made getting boss gear so much easier that in the first 2 months on this ultimate account, I already have a full wheel of boss gear and we're just ranking it up now.
Yeah, that's massive.
It took me like 2, maybe 3 weeks to get a full wheel of boss gear, which I don't know how I feel about that actually, because like it happened like a week or 2 after I started playing, I want to say. And I was just like, this is the best way to do it. But I think if I went back to it, I probably would have limited myself on like those boss shrines and stuff, like on field bosses, so that I wasn't killing quite as many. Just because it did make it so much easier.
Trash loot
and it skipped over a lot of that like early grind. It felt like, at least for me.
Yeah, power creep's gotten out of control with that. I remember starting the game. I think I started in maybe 2017, pretty much like just after DK release. And the game back then, it took me like 4 days, 5 days just to get to level 50. You know, like just getting my bearings, discovering everything,
Ooh,
working
second
out what
Venom.
the hell the game was. You know, like I had friends that played it, but
W.
even then they were like maybe level 55, 56 at the time.
Once you all succeed
know,
as much,
And
it's just relatable.
to see what
Hell
the
yeah.
game was then, like everything kind of had a purpose. Like Balanos wasn't as useful, but it had a quest line in it. You know, it's like tutorial area. And then Serendia was like, okay, you actually were grinding a bit of Serendia to get some levels. It wasn't for long, but you're actually using all the content on your way up. You know, um, the sad thing for me, which is honestly probably the biggest part I've enjoyed about watching Cyclo, is that his ultimate was forced to go to these spots because it's like, man, you got 100 gear score. You're not you're not skipping anything, dude. You know.
Yeah.
And so it's like that was sort of what I tried to include in my playthrough. But again, I had no idea what it would be like. You know, when I started, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be stuck at mains for a while. We're gonna grind out some Schultz belts. You know, then I'm gonna have to go to Sorsons for some trash loot. Might have to get a
Podcast
wagon. You
name,
know,
thank
do it
you.
the old school way. And then I
Tax
forgot
evasion, yeah.
about all the things they throw at you as a new player. You know, like suddenly I'm 400 gear score in a week. You know, and you're like, wow, okay, shit, that's a bit quicker than I thought it was. You know,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's strange, man. It's strange.
I think with the implication of the pen and Tet Black Star that you get now, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
if you are full pen to Vala and everything with pen and Tet Black Star, you're like what six something gear score or something.
Nuts, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you
Or
leave
what-
season at like 560 or something, 580, don't you? Something like that. I don't know.
Let me check it, bro. I remember looking at it recently on stream, and I went, "Wow!" So if you're full pen to Vala, you finish season, and then you have the pen and Tet Black Star. I remember
Yeah.
looking.
Guardian of
at
the
it, like,
environment.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like
Sorry
if you
about
do all
that
your
earlier.
journals season, and it's like all the family stuff, plus the Pen Black Star, you probably roll out a season like what 285 AP or something stupid.
Yeah, it's
I thought it was in the 280s as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Something
something
like that.
crazy.
That's nuts. You come out of season and you're like, all right, let's grind Gyphon, you know?
I remember before the Tet and Pen Blocks are being added to the game for free. I remember people would graduate season, like depending on the class you're playing and how much knowledge you have on the game, people were just straight up doing Elvia orbs. And I'm like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
insane.
efficiency was a big
Wild.
question mark, but it was technically happening.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, that's it.
True.
That's
Okay,
it.
yeah. So if you
I'm
if
nothing
you
about him,
have
hey.
everything pen to Vala, like
Easy game.
accessories, all pen accessories, all pen to Vala armor and stuff, and then you have a pen and a Tet Black Star, you're 567 gear score. Like basically
Crazy.
like 570.
Is that
So
with
you
all
have-
the journals as well?
No, that's not even journals.
No journals 570.
So
only.
you're at like 260-ish AP, you're about to hit the 261 bracket, and then you're over 300 DP.
Crazy.
And you can do that in what, a week?
Yeah.
Maybe less? Maybe less than a
Yeah.
week?
Well, if you know what you're doing, you do it even quicker. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
for sure. You can do that in a day if you know what you're doing.
Mm.
Also, pen capotias. Somebody in my chat just said they're also free.
You tired?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I'm taking
yeah,
that,
yeah,
man.
level
I'll put,
Just
62.
I'll
straight
put
up
Pink
to
Capotion belt in
600
that
gear
group. How about
score.
that, alright?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so no journals. No journals, like let's say you even have, let's say you have the Ator's Power Stone, because you might do the quest line, right?
Yeah.
So with the Ator's Power Stone, I'll put a
You
screenshot
sleep?
in general just so you guys can see.
Yeah,
it.
you should crash or
If you
something.
guys want to pull it up.
Get some rest.
Like no journals, you just straight up have all Pen to Vala, and then you have
Yeah.
the Kaposha belt, Kaposha neck, Pen Black Star, Tet Black Star, with the Notorious Power Stone. You're over the 261 AP bracket.
Dude, that's huge. It's
I'm
huge.
pulling that
And you
up.
trip your way over one of the logs and you're 269 AP. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy. Yeah.
Jeez, man. I mean, that just shows how much the game has evolved over time.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Azure on the background. Yeah, it's
I don't know how that translates as far as
Azure,
new
Gallon,
player
and Quinny.
retention, but man, if I was 500 and something gear score after a week back when I started, jeez,
jeez.
whole different ball game.
Yeah, I think that's one of the
Nothing
biggest
for
things that
potion
made me
pieces
want
yet, no.
to do Iron Man is it just felt like I'm already at the end game almost. Like, give me 2 weeks and I'm there. I was like, that doesn't seem super fun. Just with
Nah.
that. Also, sorry about that earlier. My nephews slammed on my door. They're like 4 and 2. They just barged in.
You can't hear it? It's like super loud, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm used to it by now, man. I got an almost 2-year-old.
It's as loud
She
as
comes
I am.
banging at the door. I was like, "Daddy, Daddy!" I'm like, hey.
All right.
Yeah, we even forgot the Jatina accessories.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we
true.
totally forgot Jatina too. Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
even
even-
realistically,
without the-
what are they getting to on season? Like maybe Tet? Maybe Tet? I don't think inside season you're getting
Oh,
close
It's
to
really
Pen.
loud.
Like, there's
It's
a lot of
supposed to be.
blackstones in that. That's a lot of grinding.
It's a
I think
podcast,
the fact
boss
that we don't have to
man.
include them, the gear is already.
They should be as loud as I am.
Said.
yeah.
Exactly right.
I personally think that's one of the game's biggest weaknesses is giving out so much stuff. I just like I don't think it would be a problem if there was Endgame to do, but the Endgame is just more grinding.
class is
so it
this?
just
This is
skips over
Awakening
so much
Ranger.
of it. That's my biggest thing with it. Like I don't think it's normally a problem in most games, but this game just has that problem of not being as I don't know, not having anything really to look forward to besides PvP, right?
There's not
Yeah,
even
that's
PvP,
dead as
man.
well, anyway.
Not even PvP. Yeah, they're actively trying to kill it.
Yeah,
Get all this gear to go grind AOS.
that's my problem as well. Is like I don't know what they're rushing people toward. Everything that you can do in this game is capped. So why are they handing out gear? They're not reaching toward anything because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Yep. Sad man.
I remember this discussion being brought up whenever they gave out the free Tet Black Star the first time, where some of the players were like, "Oh, how could you just give out such a quote unquote like prestigious item that people have spent a lot of money and or time for?" And then that same discussion got brought up again when they gave out the pen, because there's tons of videos on YouTube of people spending like thousands of dollars just buying outfits to then turn them into crons to try to get their pen Black Star. And
Yeah.
just like mentioning, I feel like a cool thing about the Ironman account and the way that some of us play it, some of us don't, is that like by playing those game modes where you have those restrictions and stuff, you're able to experience those places in the game that new players probably don't even touch now, like Helms, Elric Shrine, Sawsons, Catfish, like the good old places that you remember back in 2017, 2018. Those new players that walk out after a week of playing the game, almost 600 gear score, they're not gonna go touch those spots. And like Sickly was saying, I don't know what
easy
they're
game, Rusty.
bomb rushing these people to go do,
That's
because like you said, you're getting like right now
ogre?
the endgame
That's
is so
huge.
stale and not that many people are in favor of it.
that's huge.
So it's like by them handing out all this free gear, you're pushing them further and closer to the end game to then do what? You know, if none of the PvP changes were, changed and PvP was still as lively as it used to be, then yeah, I get it, because those new players probably want to partake in like T1 nodes to work their way up to T4s and then Siege and stuff like that, or uncapped. But yeah, I also agree. I don't know what they're trying to push all these new players into, because I think a lot of people would actually enjoy the early game. Just like how if they made a classic server, being able to re-experience those old places that us veteran players are so used to, the new players don't even know what they are. So I mean, they would probably enjoy it. Because I'm sure that a lot of people first week into the game, they have the gear that I posted the screenshot of, and then the first thing that they're looking up is how to grind lower Gaifen. They're looking up some guide.
I love the idea of doing a fresh start server as long as silver doesn't get weight back. None of that. None of that.
There's definitely a lot of ways they could go with the game. And I think the natural progression, if you take something like
start
RuneScape
Ironman
into
as
account, and
category?
its similarity in the fact that it's a huge grind, and the grind
I think Quinny
in almost
technically
any
came
MMO
first.
is the infinite, as
He's been doing it
Six
for about 2
eloquently
years
put
now.
it, the gear treadmill. You get to a point in any of those games where you just need a large sum of whatever the in-game currency is to get the gear, or you're grinding for RNG, and there's
Another
really that's
pity?
the only way you go with it. So
Huge.
it's hard to sit back and be confident about the future of a game like this when the changes they make aren't for the people that are loyal to the game and haven't played for the they're basically making the game so that people who've played for 3 to 6 months are the ones that they keep pandering to, whereas the rest of us are the ones that keep the game going. We're the ones that are playing it forever because we're the ones that we understand where the game was and where it is now, and we know it's a lot easier than it used to be. So we're much harder to like upset in the way of, oh man, this game's such a grind, you know? We're like, hey man, we've been doing it for 7 years, 10 years, you know? Like,
I don't really even
it's not
know
foreign
that
to
they're.
us.
I don't know that they're even building toward the new players or the mid-game players or anything like that. Because, yeah, they're giving them more gear and they're making it easier to reach Endgame, but there is nothing at Endgame. So I think really they're doing the game as a whole a disservice by not adding something to actually do or reach for. Why would somebody join this game despite the fact that it would take you, some guy did it in 18 days to get all the way to 700 gear score, when that's all there is? That 18 days is the whole game. Why would you play the game when that's all there is?
Yeah. Something on the same topic of that, I want to hear your guys' opinions because I don't know if I'm in this boat by myself about it. Falling God gear, right? This is currently the best gear in the game. This is your end game gear. This is what you strive to work towards as a new player, right? Whenever Land of the Morning Light came out and people were able to get Dawn Gloves within the first 12 hours or the first day, to me, that kind of just strips away some of the worth of what Dawn Gloves were. I think if we look at other MMOs, like, let's just use like World of Warcraft or something, for example, right? If you want to get that super end game gear, you have to spend hours upon hours of grinding dungeons. Like, maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. Or like grinding up materials and stuff. I'm probably using a bad game as an example, but you know what I mean, right? I think by them just kind of like handing out stuff as freely as they do is like a double-edged sword. It helps out the new players, but then it prohibits the end game players from really working towards stuff. Like, I think the last thing that they added in the game that I really was excited to work towards was the Ator shoes, just because that grind was meticulous. It wasn't as easy, you know what I mean? I understand that some people can claim, myself, I did get it to drop, but for those of people that had to grind up the 100 embers, like, that's a grind. It gives those veteran players an incentive to play, to grind. So it's like, with these new players that are just being spoon-fed all these new pieces of gear that veteran players spent, like, dude, a Pen Blackstar 2 years ago, that shit is so cool. But nowadays it's like, oh, you just log in, you get it for free. There's nothing that,
right there with
the way that I view it, there's nothing that really persuades new players to really push or anything. Like, there's nothing in the game to really fuel the new player base, you know what I mean? Like, for me, if I were to step into a new MMO, I like to see that end game boss that I'm like, I want to defeat that boss one day. Then you gradually work your way towards it, or I want that piece of gear. Stuff like that. That's me personally. I know that a lot of people are like, I just want the new item so I have it and then I'm done. But nowadays, it's, what are you going to go use that gear on? You grind tens of hours to get your token limbo things, and then you go get your pen debo rings, and now what? What's the next place you go grind? I can't PvP. Like, it kind of sucks. You go do AOS. You grind up 100 hours to get a Tet debo ring, and then what? You just go queue up AOS? Like,
yeah, legit.
Queue up for cap content or predetermined gear. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I just wish that there was things in the game that really gave incentive to not only new players but also veteran players, to like make them want to grind. You know what I mean? I don't want to log onto the game and go, okay, what are we doing today? I want to log in and be like, all right, this is my plan. I want to get this item today, and that's what I love so much about the Ironman content. It's like, okay, today I'm gonna log on. I'm gonna sit into Varn's Step and kill griffins until I get a griffin helmet. That's fun. I know not everyone thinks the same way, but at least that an individual player has an objective. They have something to work towards.
Yeah,
you know,
not just get silver.
I think
exactly. That's why I like the Ironman.
I think that's a big thing with other MMOs, though. So, like, you mentioned World of Warcraft, and like World of Warcraft, their gear and stuff is pretty easy to get. Like, it doesn't take super long to get gear. It takes maybe a week or two per patch. but then you have like that insanely cool end game content where you're raiding and doing all of that stuff, and that's like the goal of the game, is to do that raiding to get as far as you can go, because it's actually difficult content. Whereas like something like RuneScape, the goal is pretty much the entire journey, and like
Mm.
BDO is taking the worst of both of those. So it's like it's kind of like RuneScape, but it's giving out the gear like as World of Warcraft. It's kind of how it feels to me. It's like they're giving out stuff that is skipping the journey, but this game is more about the journey than the destination.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 and it has to be for an MMO. I think it has to be about the journey more than the destination. And if you take that away from players, there's no retention.
A lot
there's
of
no
people miss Shadow Arena, man.
appreciation for the fact.
There's something to do.
I've been doing this for 2 years, and
That's what BDO lacks. is
throughout the
something to
entire
do.
process, there's moments that I reflect on, and man, that was so cool. That was awesome. I enjoyed the shit out of that. I wish I could go back and do it again, you know. Whereas now I feel like, because, you know, like we've said, they're accelerating players to the wall of basically, hey, you're either in the infinite grind or you quit because there's nothing to do. They're just accelerating people towards nothingness and the eventuality of just quitting. And I think that's what we all strive for when we started the Ironman, was to give us that path that Azure talked about, where you're like, okay, I'm working on this one thing, and there's only one way I can do it, and I just got to put the time in, bro. I just got to send it. I just got to grind my ass off for this shit, and maybe I get lucky. And yeah, I think once that's gone, the passion for the game is gone. You know, we're not all choice. We're not Zethian. We're not Divios. We're not these people that just can amass a huge amount of silver just for the next bit of content. It's such an infinitesimally small percentage of people that can even do that.
Yeah.
You know, we need a task. We're people. We crave input. We need something to do, and when you put us on a task, we can do it. But when we're given the prospect of, I don't know what's coming, like sovereign weapons, okay, cool. How many materials are we going to get to enhance them? Oh, it's going to be hard to enhance. Okay, so it's time gated. You know, oh well, that doesn't feel great. You know, like, where are we going? What am I doing with my time? Why am I not putting it into another game where I've got no idea and then I have fun again? You know?
Yeah. I'm personally super excited for Sovereign Weapons. I think it's going to be, I don't know, I think it will be something nice to actually work towards, because I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm knocking out Fallen Gods, I'm starting to work on pen accessories, stuff like that. And like, I'm getting to the point where it's like, once I get to the point where to, it's just kind of what you're saying, like, eventually I'll get there, but yeah.
I'm personally not against time gated things. I know that might be a hot take in the BDO scene, at least.
That is a hot take, yeah.
I'm personally not against time gated things, just because, for example, like a game like MapleStory, like an overseas game, right? Even though they have a North America server and stuff like that, right? They have a system in the game where once you reach like a certain level, let's just say level 60, for example, right? They have like these arcane stones, and basically what you do every day whenever you log in, you would go kill X amount of mobs per area. So let's say, for example, they implemented an item in the game where it was a stone, and every day you would go kill 1,000 mobs in Calphion. You would go kill 1,000 mobs in the Consolidation region, the Valencia region, so on and so on, right? And then every day, once you fill up that stone, you are able to tier it up. And then with that tier up of the stone, let's say it gives you just like an extra 1 AP, like plus 1 hidden AP, stuff like that, right? I do enjoy the gradual increase of gear over time. It gives you an incentive to log in. I know that there are weeklies and dailies in Black Desert, like you can go kill an X amount of Tongrad mobs and you get, or like the Lower Gyphon daily, you can go do that and then you get Caverstone, stuff like that, right? I think those are cool, but I think if they were to implement something towards your gear where you could do a weekly or a daily to increase your gear further and further, I think that would be cool. And I know that with the Sovereign weapons, they're implementing like the gem socket or whatever. Like, imagine if those gem sockets you were able to gradually increase over time. So instead of, let's say, like a down attack plus 10% one-time gemstone, imagine if you could work it from plus 1% to plus 10%. Stuff like that. It gives players an incentive to log in every day, to gradually work towards something. So I'm not necessarily against time gated stuff, which I know a lot of people were against whenever like Land of the Morning Light came out, where people were like, oh well, I don't want to be time gated by doing an 8-hour quest line to get my gloves. I'd rather just get my gloves and do it. And I'm like, dude, who cares? Just do your 8-hour quest line.
Yeah.
They spent so much time, so much money, so many resources to make this expansion, because the players that complain about not being able to get their gear within the first day are the same players that complain a month later after their expansion drops that there's no content in the game. And I'm like, because all you guys do is bomb rush all this new content that just came out that's supposed to last 6 months, and you do it in the first week. So of course you're bored. Like that's not appealing. If a new expansion comes out, I want to be able to have content for the next like 6 months. You know what I mean? So I'm not against time gated stuff, and I'm not saying anyone here is against it or like is for it or whatever, but it's more so that I enjoy the daily or weekly logins, those incentives. I do personally like the weekly potion incentive thing, but
I like that type of stuff too. You go for it.
Yeah, sorry. I'm all for time gated stuff, providing there's a reason for it to be time gated. It's for sovereign weapons. I was talking last night with my stream, saying that the thing that leaves a bad taste in my mouth about sovereign weapon time gating is that it feels like it's a stalling tactic, if that's how they choose to approach it. They give us this this new boss content that we can do as a group, which is great. We've been asking for it. They've promised it for so long. It's really hype. I'm really excited for the actual content that comes along with sovereign weapons. But my issue is when you achieve the sovereign weapons, what do you do with it? Why time gate us from an item that gives us nothing extra to do with it? You know, you can choose all your extra, with the gems, like you're saying, the gem sockets. You can choose extra stuff for your grind. That's wicked. But there's no associated content with it. So like there's the Deckier spots, but let's be honest, I feel like Deckier is just a really lazy revamp of existing content. It's very easy for them to slap a Deckier's lantern on it and go, oh, it's got more HP, it does more damage, here's a couple new mechanics, drop table, done. Like 5-minute fix. Creating progression out of that is what I think is important. So if you're going to time gate something, that's fine. I'm not against it. I love doing dailies, weeklies, all chipping away at progress. It's about the journey, like we said. But to time gate it through the sovereign weapons, to me, feels like a stalling tactic to go, keep playing the game, guys. We're just working on some stuff. You know? That's the only reason I feel a bit that way with the sovereign weapons, hey. But I could be totally wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I'd actually love to be proved wrong with that. But I don't know, it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
Are we ready for an opinion completely opposite of everyone else's opinion?
Absolutely.
Let's hear it.
Go for it, Sid.
Okay, here we go. So, touching a little bit on what Azure said about time gating potentially could be interesting. Here's the problem with time gates. Time gating content is not for the player. The design of the time gate is not for the player to drag out the content or to have more fun with it or anything like that. Time gating is very specifically designed to make the game appear bigger than it is. It is to keep you forcibly logging in every single day so that their investors are like, hey guys, this is how many players we have playing our game. Time gating is so bad and it feels so bad because it's not designed for the player. It's designed for them to make more money from investors, essentially. So I don't think that time gating should exist in any MMO. I think it really kind of flips in the opposite direction, which is that people feel bad about when they're busy and they can't log in. That person is now permanently 1 day behind. And every time that happens, they're now permanently another day behind. So within a couple of weeks, you could reach a point to where someone who has a full-time job and maybe some kids or family or whatever just can't play this game anymore because now they're never going to be on an equal playing field to somebody that can play every day. And that is a big problem. I think with what Azure said about them making new regions and people wanting to rush through them in 6 hours and just have nothing to do with the region, I don't think that's why people do it. I think the reason that we rush through the regions in this game is because there's no content in the regions. if boss blitz came out and it was like, hey guys, you can just spam these bosses and get rewards like it was originally supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be a weekly time gate thing, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. They were supposed to just be bosses that you could kill as a grind spot, not something that you would go do. But if it was just bosses that had mechanics that took a couple of minutes to kill and you could spam them for like a bill an hour, then Land of Morning Light, when it came out, would have been much more popular and there would have been a reason to be there. I think their execution of the game has really let them down, and now they have to time gate things in order to keep people playing for their investors. And it's at the point now where if you don't like PvP and you only want a PvE in this game, then you log in once a week, you run 5 bosses, you run 2 dungeons, and then you log out until next week.
Yeah.
I think what you brought up is like very, very valid. I know that in the background, like that is what the time gated stuff is for. For me personally, the only reason why I have that viewpoint of where I am not against if they were to add weekly or like daily things towards benefiting gear is strictly just because I was again going back to Land of the Morning Light, because I think that's just the perfect example. I just remember people were like, I'm really upset, this new content just dropped, I've already done all of it in a week. And it's not that that's a bad thing, you can't blame the player for it, you know, necessarily. It does come down to if the developers drop enough content for us to, you know, munch up on for 6 months. But I do think that it's just, it would be nice if there were other things where we had incentive to log in. Because it's like, for example, whenever Sovereign weapons come out, right? It's going to be better than Black Star. But if the game stays in what its current state is right now, okay, whenever Sovereign weapons come out and we spend all the time to go do the group bosses, to go do them with our guild members, our friends, whoever it may be, and then we spend however much time it takes to get the resources to enhance it, get it all the way up to wherever we get it to, what do we do with it? Unless there's like new grind locations and stuff for us to go grind. But the problem is that right now people don't want to spend all their time and effort to go grind when they're just going to get gear that makes them just go grind more because there's no PvP right now. That's just where I view it.
That's like right back to my point of if Boss Blitz was designed in a different way, then it would feel different to grinding. It would feel like there's 2 things to do in the game instead of just 1 thing to do in the game. And the quote-unquote boss blitz would have been like a boss challenge mode that would have been worth doing. It would have rewards that were worth doing and something that you could repeat. Therefore, there's your reason to log in. There's your reason to get more gear. It is to clear higher calamity level bosses or to do it faster for more money an hour or whatever the case may be. And then the objective of the game is no longer to turn your brain off and go in a circle holding 2 buttons. Your objective is to become very skilled at certain bosses so that you can clear them very quickly and therefore make more money than someone that can't clear them as quickly.
Yeah, I do think being able to go back and kind of just repeat the same tier difficulty boss over and over again without being restricted by doing it, what is it, 5 a week, right? I would like that a lot, but the thing is, like, I'm on both sides of it. I like the fact that we could just, if boss blitz weren't capped at 5 a week, I think that'd be really fun, because then if you complete it once, you could try over and over again and then just get better and better rewards and just like kind of infinitely do it for however long you want to do it. But at the same time, I do understand like both sides of it, where people want more weekly content and then people want things to just be open and accessible freely without being capped. I get both sides of it, and I kind of wish that there was a balance between the two, where that they had incentives for both sides. That's just how I'm on it.
I kind of get that too. Like in World of Warcraft, everything is pretty much time gated there, but they have catch up. So like if you miss out on it the week before, then you can just grab all the stuff that you would have gotten from the week before. It just increases the caps of like the currency you can get. It increases the amount of things that you can get for crafting and stuff. So like there's certain caps that you have. I think that type of time gating is fine. I mean, I'm not the hugest fan, but I'm not a huge fan of like daily chores. Like that's one of the bigger reasons why I stopped playing RuneScape for so long, is because there's like farming as a daily chore, stuff like that, and I just felt like I always had to go do like my birdhouse runs, stuff like that. And so like I'm not a huge fan of time gating stuff like that and like making them like chores, but at the same time, if it's not something that's like required for progress, I don't mind it. So like making the dungeons time gated once a week type of deal, I'm fine with stuff like that personally.
I think the main problem is that it's a poor approach to getting people to play your game. I think
Yeah, you're not.
I think what you should do to get people to keep logging into your game is to have content that people want to do, not have
Yeah.
content that people feel forced to log in to do or they'll fall behind. I just think it's a poor mentality that the like gaming industry has gotten themselves into, and I think it would be better if they pulled away from it and just pushed toward actually interesting, worthwhile content that people enjoyed.
Yeah. I think the only reason why I was so strong about the weekly content and stuff like that is just because whenever we've gotten new expansions, they're just eh, not to like have a sour taste in my mouth, but there's just not as much content as I would like there to be whenever they release new expansions, and that's nowhere near the player's fault. And I think that's the only reason why I wouldn't mind if they added weekly content, just because it would prolong that expansion for me as a player. Because again, it's like whenever Ulukita came out, like yes, there was that storyline. We got the Ator's Power Stone, which we all know and love as an Iron Man player. But then it's like once you got your Kabua's fragments and you got your Ator, like once you got your Ator shoes, there wasn't much else in that region. And I think that if they were to have implemented something like a weekly or something, that would be cool in my head. But the only reason why I would like there to be weeklies or time kept or time gated content is strictly just because there isn't enough content for players to explore or do within a timely manner. So, but I also get the other side of the coin where it's like certain people IRL, they have jobs, they have families, they have kids, stuff like that. And then if they miss out on a daily or if they miss out on a weekly, they're 1 day or 1 week behind, and that does suck. It's one of those things where it's not really like a win or lose situation. It's like either way, people are not getting content, and it just kind of sucks in general. But
I think your problem will be solved though if they just made like repeatable content that was fun to do and stopped tying like main parts of the game to new content. So that the reason that they time gate things and the reason that they tie new stuff like the Dawn's gloves to boss splits is because they need to force people to do it. It's not because that's how they want you to achieve it. It's because they need to A, keep you logging in every week for their investors, and B, have something for you to force you to log in every week for their investors. But if they actually made every new expansion, there was some sort of content. For example, Land of Demons, there's supposed to be a 100 floor dungeon. If they did something interesting slash repeatable every new expansion, then there wouldn't be a need to time gate things to drag out the expansion. It would just be that that expansion has something interesting that people want to keep going back for. And I think that's really like the developers have failed us on that, in that there is nothing to do, and their solution is to add an endgame item to something that's super time gated just to force you to keep logging in so that that boosts their player numbers.
and I completely agree with that. I think if they were to just add things like that, it would be overall better. I do completely agree with that.
I think time gated stuff within the mid game is fine. I think because they've got something to do afterwards. I think time gating stuff for content that's not related to veterans, because like we've done it all before, man. Like, you know, we're gonna play. We're playing no matter what, so don't slow us down because you can't keep up a good schedule of content. And I tend to agree with Sickleet there, where it's, you know, obviously you can't argue that high number or high login numbers is great for their bottom line. Like it's inevitable. But yeah, it doesn't bode well for the people who are loyal to your game and that want to play it by giving them something that slows them down.
Actually.
You know? And I think in any aspect of gaming, someone who has the ability to play 12 hours a day will and always should benefit more than someone who's only able to play 1 hour a day. Granted, RNG brought into it can definitely change the outcome. Not wrong at all, but it doesn't come across very positively to people who want to play your game and they just want to play it. Like, we're all sitting there going, we just want to play your game, man. Just give us something to do. That's all.
Well,
like, we want to give you the time. You need to give us the time that we deserve, you know?
So the problem, Quinny, between like the difference between the guy that can play 12 hours a day and the guy that can play 1 hour a day in the current system of the game is actually nothing. because everything
Yeah.
that you could possibly do with gear in this game has gear caps that are seasonal. So the guy, the 780 gear score choice, can do all the same content that me creating a new account tomorrow could do, because every single aspect of quote unquote things to do in this game, which is virtually nothing, has gear caps, and there's no reason to get gear at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's just, I think we are all kind of agreeing here. Like, we just want more content, but just give us good content. That's kind of all we need, and we'll be happy, right? Something fun to do that's actually repeatable, something that keeps us playing, but for the fun aspect of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, we all made Ironman accounts because not only is it fun to be challenged, but also there's not really content at the end game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Well,
it is about
for-
the mid game, but I just really enjoy it. Like the
Get
early
tossed around
middle
it.
game, it's just like so satisfying. I don't know why the end game struggles so much, but something about like the early to mid game, even like not using any of the catch up mechanics, just feels so nice and
So
easy.
the coons,
Like, or not easy, but just like rewarding, and just feel like the end
got a
game
lot.
stuff just
You got a lot ahead of you, you know, like you can actually see your path of progression at that point.
video
You know,
combat
like,
task win.
being an Iron Man that's in the end game, I honestly feel like I'm playing a main account. Like I'm degenning Quint Hill for silver for Debo taps. Like that is all I'm doing right now. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong. Like I love enhancing, which is half the reason I'm able to do it. But there's there's really not much difference in the end, which is I imagine why Sick started his new challenge, because it's like, well, I don't want to join that grind. I want to start playing for fun again.
Well, it already felt like that, honestly. The
Yeah.
last 30 gear score was just Caphras. I was just grinding in a circle
Yeah.
like Gyfin for Caphras, and I was right back on that gear treadmill, and I did not enjoy my last 30 gear score on the Ironman, because it just felt like a main account again.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I mean, it's like
But,
that. It's like that video that I think Fake uploaded where he drew that diagram in Paint where it's like a funnel system where at the beginning part of the game there's just so many different gear options for you to explore. And once you get to the mid game, it's even thinner. It's more narrow. There's fewer gear things to kind of explore, but you're still in that boss gear thing where you can either do Red Nose or Dim Tree or like Gieth or Griffin. And then once you get to that end game where you're like in the most narrowest part of the funnel, you are strictly just doing Debo's Fallen God. And at that point, it's just kind of boring because you're not able to explore as much at that point, which I think is why we all really enjoyed the early to mid game. It's because we're also seeing that sense of progression every day when we log on. Whereas opposed to us logging on every day to grind, let's just say like the average person can grind like an hour a day, right? If your limbo token takes an average of 10 to 15 hours, that one token is going to take so much longer for you to get, as opposed for you to being able to play for 1 hour a day at the beginning or mid part, because that 1 hour every day, you see that progression, you see the lineage. But when you're in the end game, you don't see the lineage, which I think is why it's so fun in the early and mid game.
You get to do the thing you want to do once every 2 weeks in that case. That's hilarious. And then if you go dry, like some people are 40 plus hours per token. That's like
Dude, fuck
over
that,
a month to spend 15 minutes doing the one thing that you want to do. So you grind for a month and then do something for 15 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I think Blue Squadron said he has one in, what, 34 hours? I'm good, bro.
that's awful.
I'm good. I don't want to do it. I was excited to see the revamp of the Trial of Arethea, or however you pronounce it. But dude, the fact that you may not even get on the average.
Just buy that off the market, man.
Exactly. You have two sides of the
Hello
spectrum.
there.
You have Mr.
Bandwagoner
Raffles
you
getting
just
3 in like 5 minutes. and then you have
Bandwagon,
people
thank you for
that
the follow.
take over 15 to
Appreciate
20
that.
hours just to get one.
Yeah.
It's insane. So,
Just be Rapless, man.
Yeah, seriously.
I wish.
We've all watched Blue react to almost all of your Iron Man series, and the thing that I always hear him say is like, "Man, do you guys remember dropping an upgrade while grinding? You know, like dropping something and going, oh, guys, that's an upgrade. We just gained 2 gear score there. That's huge. Let's go." You know,
Yeah.
you don't get that anymore. You're like, "Hey, I did 30 hours and now we get an attempt," and it's like,
That was me
Sick.
with a base Narc earring.
Good upgrade.
Seriously.
That was me with a Sula's. Like getting in a Sula necklace, I'm like, holy shit, that's actually so big.
I think the moral of the story is just play Iron Man and go back to the early game every few months.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I think if they did a seasonal version of that season, like I mean, season is an Iron Man essentially. You just stop at 570 gear score, whatever it is. But I think to have something akin to Iron Man where it's like, I don't know, a lot slower. Like we kind of need like a seasonal hard or like old school version, whatever they want to call it. That would be fun.
I would love to see something where they have a lot of like the modern convenience type of things, like silver not having weight, stuff like that. But they just like re-release areas, so they start off with the original 3 and then give us a few months to play through it, and then add Medaya, and then add like every couple months add new stuff every time. I think that would be super fun.
BDO classic-ish.
Yeah, BDO classic-ish with no silver weight and other things similar to that are annoying in the original.
New BDO, hello Supreme Bones. Welcome to the game.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if they'll ever do it, but it would be really cool if they just made, like how we have the Archer servers, we have the Novice servers, Season servers. I think it'd be really cool if they made one of them, like how they're gonna do the hardcore PvP thing or whatever. I think if they just did that, but it's its own standalone server, make it 1 or 2 servers. Because I don't know about you guys, but I remember back in the day, even though it's not fun getting your spot taken over, compared to now, I'm sure that we would love to see, because Sickwood is doing Shura runes right now, like let's just use that for an example. It would be so cool to just see like 5 or so players during your hour at Shura runes, just like coming into your rotation, and then you have that social aspect again, you know? Because nowadays you rarely run into people.
To just see someone else playing the game. Here's the thing. I AFK horse train outside of a safe zone on Arsha. And I like weeks at a time. There is no one playing this game. Grinding takes forever.
No,
Level 59.
that's it.
There are
if you're not active,
certain
you're
grind spots
AFK,
that are
right?
really,
Or you
really
don't
good
log
for
in.
it, Supreme.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
It depends on
There's
your
really
gear
no
a little
difference.
bit, but if you go to Miramok Ruins,
I think that's
really good for
about
XP.
an hour though, so I guess do you guys have anything else, or do we want to wrap up here? What are you guys feeling?
I think pretty good. Hey, we don't want to talk about too much if we're planning to do something extra into the future either.
Yeah,
I think if
definitely.
anyone who's watching, if you guys have any questions for us personally, depending on if you guys are watching this on Twitch or YouTube or wherever this is at, feel free to leave a comment asking us questions that you want to see answered, or give us topics that you want to see us talk about.
Yeah, that sounds good. And we can talk about that next time we do this. I don't know if we're gonna make this a weekly thing or every other week or once a month type of deal, but I guess we'll figure that out later.
Oh yeah, it's been a blast. It's been great.
This has been super fun. Thank you guys for coming on and talking. That was super fun. I'll be in touch later with figuring out other plans, but this was super fun.
Yeah,
definitely enjoyed it.
Make sure you check everyone's socials out.
Yeah,
Get around us.
You
We're the future of BDO guys.
Go check everyone out. I know Sickloot and Gallum are streaming right now.
Yep, I have them in my title. You can check them out, and then I will put it in the description of the video as well. So I'll put everyone's channels.
Let's go. Ironman take over, baby. Let's take it over.
Let's go. All right. I will see y'all later then.
Take care, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
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 Okay, that was the first ever Iron Man podcast. I'm sure I missed a ton of stuff from you guys. Let me actually turn off that overlay now that we're doing this. I'm sure I missed a ton of stuff from you guys, so if I did, be sure to repost it. And if you want to talk about some of the stuff that happened, I'm down to do that as well. And let me know your thoughts and stuff. We'll have a nice little discussion about it. I have Tuvala. You can actually grind trees with like 230 AP and 300 DP, which is Tuvala gear. Alternatively, if you just want to get leveled, in the upper section of your game by the map, there's a little green circle if you're not on a season server. And if you click that circle and go into the Elvia realm, and then you go to Orcs in Serendia, which is right here, and find someone grinding and ask to leech, they will invite you to a party and they'll actually like share XP with you, and you can level up really, really fast doing that. So there's two different methods there. It's really like one of the faster parts of the game, leveling. So if you get to 61, you'll be set basically for the entire lifetime of your account. You just fine after that. But I'm sure there are a lot of people willing to leech you if you don't want to grind it yourself, and if you do, then I would recommend doing trees, which you should be able to do with 2 olive gear.
Hello there.
Supreme Bones just followed.
Appreciate the follow there, Supreme. I'm expecting such a bit difference in opinion about daily weekly stuff. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I had assumed that just about every human being on the planet had the same opinion as me. But as it turns out, I am in the minority, so there we go. Welcome to the Ironman podcast, I guess. Very interesting stuff. Be sure to give those guys a follow. They all have YouTubes and they all have Twitches, so be sure to go check them out. I know that I am streaming, so the VOD of the podcast will be on YouTube, and Gallum, I think, is going to do a video on it as well. I'm not sure about the other two, but... to make new content for BDO with no daily weekly limit, they can have a boss that needs items or amount of kills to do. They could just add content that's enjoyable to do and is rewarding enough in game money wise, and people will keep doing it because there's actually just nothing else. They can basically add Scurious to the game, but have him make you an equivalent to grinding money, and you'll be set. Like, people will do that. And you just keep going down the road doing that stuff. What's an Ironman? Okay, so an Ironman is essentially players that have decided to make the game harder for themselves and not use the central market to buy things. So the people that we were just hearing were part of the Ironman community. I'm also an Ironman, but I took it up a little. And not only can I not use the central market, but I can't use any storages either. So everything I own, I actually have right here in my inventory. And we're trying to gear up without using storages or the market. And it's going pretty well. If you'd like to see the history of it, do exclamation YouTube. Been documenting my series. I've also already done the Ironman, and that whole series is on YouTube as well. So since I've done the Ironman to 700 gear score, I figure we'd make it harder and do an ultimate Ironman. It's been a lot of fun so far. So we're all here. Spin those ideas around. Yeah. Really interesting. I don't know. But I think the consensus is that BDO really lacks content, like things to do in the game. And I think that's mostly the reason why people have decided to do Ironman, is to like create content for themselves. And the Ironman idea was inspired by other creators on like RuneScape especially. I know Settle's been a big influence for a lot of people. But to take that concept and put it in the game that you love and create content in your game, I think has been such a fun experience for all of us. So okay, with that said, I really do need to use the restroom now, so I've been waiting for a while on the restroom. So I think we'll run and do that really quick. Hopefully. I guess I'll just go character select. It's bad enough I need to go character select, so give me just a minute to run to the restroom, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hello. We have returned. Let me get my magic thing going again. We'll finish out the hour. Then maybe we'll go back to trees, since that was the original goal. Let me also get some music going, actually. Get all my settings back to how they were. That should be okay as far as music. Should be right back where it was, actually. Time to barbarian fish until I get 65 fishing for Kawambron. Karamwan? That's a hard word to say. I gotta work on cooking. At some point, I need to grow a cat. I'm not really looking forward to growing a cat. And then I also need to get to 70 cooking, so... our total level is gonna skyrocket. I took some time off next week. I think it's next week. I guess it's not technically next week since today is Saturday. So it'd be the week after that. So I think we might start the thing then. I'm hoping I can get most of the way to Barrow's Gloves by then. Might at least like spin it and see what's up. See if it's doable or if we need to do more grinding. I don't know. 70 cooking myself for Rune Gloves. I think I've only done 3 of the Barrows quests. Maybe 2. Recipe for Disaster, I mean, not Barrows. Also, I think we're at 5 pities this hour, which has been pretty nice. A little unfortunate that we now have another inventory slot taken, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? 2 more to go, then the final boss. You're a lot farther than me. It's 5:30. Back on the potion grind? Yeah. Pretty committed to the potion grind. I do still need the HP potion, but we just did the podcast, and I kind of needed some, like, not difficult to do or to think about stuff. I also need to be able to stop to do my push-to-talk key and, like, just stand here in the middle of mobs, basically, so... if you missed that, it'll be on the YouTube VOD, but we had the podcast with Gallum and Quinny and Azure. It's a pretty good time. Pretty interesting discussions. Our few quest line is by far the longest quest series in the game. Yeah, I think I'm fine with most of it, except for the cat thing. I've heard terrible things about the cat thing, so I don't know. Make sure to break up the ranger with some archer so you don't get burned out. I do occasionally do archer. Like every other day at least we do archer. Depends on where we are. I did a fair bit of archer at Logan's when we were there, but I don't know. I'm not overly crazy about archer, to be honest. The archer gets rerolled next week as well, which is crazy. It's been a month next week. Buy grapes and jug of water. Get booster cooking XP. I think it's 200k XP early cooking level. Holy. I've just been cooking some lobsters, man. Running back and forth. Hasn't too bad. Just keep in the bank while AFK so it doesn't die. Do I need to just like buy a bunch of fish or something to feed it, or? Put Quinny twice on the name of stream on YouTube. That's because it didn't delete it the first time. It's so weird. YouTube is so weird. I don't understand YouTube at all. There should be hopefully fixed. Probably not though, because YouTube is weird. Yes. I believe that was a question about fish. Does it matter what kind of fish? Can I just buy a stack of fish and call it good, or? I don't know. It's feeding like every 20-30 minutes, I think. Why with me doing non-dangerous active gaming? Okay. And then as soon as it's like grown up, I go do the cat thing in Recipe for Disaster. Got kitten tracker plugin? I don't, but I probably will now. Not going for a big HP potion before mana. The reason I'm here is because I was just doing the podcast and I needed a place that I could grind without like paying attention. I need to be able to stop essentially in the middle of mobs to hold my push to talk key, because when I do that and I try to move my camera, I'm just holding W. This is what happens, and I can't grind like that. So I had to be able to just stop essentially. So that's why we're here for the hour, which just finished actually. We were at trees before, but I am going for the HP first. Fish type doesn't matter. I think it might have to be raw. Not 100%. Okay. Let's get some raw fishes then. What are those fish that people stack up in their inventory? Are they like Ramwunjani? Ramwunjani? Tell you when it needs food and cuddle. You have to cuddle the thing as well? As a person allergic to cats, I'm not sure I'm gonna like this quest. Alright, 5 pities that hour, pretty good. Just needed a chill thing to do while we did the podcast. So now we'll probably go back to trees, I guess. And work toward Mauritanis. Let's see where we're at with that, by the way. 55. So, I mean, we're getting there. We are getting there. We need 72. So 17 more to go or something? No, 27 more to go? I don't know. 17, yeah. 17 more to go. Then we'll have the Shuriken piece knocked out. Then we will either get the third piece or a Tet belt first, whichever happens. Whichever happens first. If we get the Tet belt first, then we'll just go to Runneros. And if we don't get the Tet belt first, then we'll just keep going until we get a Tet belt. And then we'll start working on the mana potion really hard. LSS update, when you create a new character, you have X amount of chance to be allergic to specific animals. Yep. But it makes you allergic to them IRL. So you have to send them your DNA. Just found out I can cheese some bad ecology knowledge on my witch by parking a horse at the monster spawn. My golem just kills it. Okay, something while reading a book. Interesting. There was a strategy at Star's End Pillars with Zerkers where you would set like a I guess it was macroing technically, but you'd modify your keybind to be Frenzy Destroyer, and you just like set a rock on it, and it would spam Frenzy Destroyer and grind Stars End for you. And then they changed the way Zerker works a little bit to fix that, and then Tamers started doing it with their big void bubble. It's a good time. So then they changed the way Stars End works so that you can't do it on any class, and they don't have to fix like 80 classes at once. Good time. It took them twice to figure it out though. I think we're good on stuff to sell. Our inventory is not ideal, but it's workable, I think. I do kind of have a lot of Blackstones. They're a little bit heavy. My weight is 504 out of 671. I think maybe we should do something about the weight. What do we get? Let's make some Capras or something. Let's actually like get rid of some friggin' weight here. I will grind 1 stone so that we have some dust, and then I'll shake up some Capras to reduce weight. Just by wait for Pearl's forehead? Oh, is that what they're for? I was wondering what pearls were for. What's the most important items in your inventory at the moment? That's a tough question, because everything is useful at some point. It's just that most of it is not useful right now. But a lot of it is like really hard to get back, so. What's our XP looking like? We're 68 magic already. Gotta be Lump of Sugar, that's very important. You know, every time I have to go back and remake Lump of Sugar, I want to throw it away less and less. Because it's so freaking annoying to do. It's so freaking annoying. Gaming, yeah. I only have 1,800 alkables left though. We need to look at the list and buy more stuff. We'll keep going. That's only 100 Blackstones. That did not save us that much weight. Let's arrange by LT. We need to throw away 26 of those. We have 308 sweet honey wines. That's not good. That's not good. We also have 193 black gem fragments. Oh, I don't need these either. Get rid of those. Get rid of 5 of these. I need to turn these fairy breaths in. We gotta go conserve some weight here. What's it even used for? I played BDO for years and used it only once to tame horse for logs. That's what it's used for, yeah. To tame horses. My best moneymaker right now is actually capturing horses and selling them to the vendor over and over again. It makes so much more money than anything I can grind right now that's how we actually get money. And that's what it's for. You know what we might be able to do is actually get the tribe gloves back. Let's make an attempt at getting the tri gloves back. What's a hardcore Ironman that lost his hardcore Ironman status by being nerd logged in TOA? Oh, like he hit 6 hours and it logged him out? You know that if you wait until your membership expires and then you log back in, then you technically don't die? According to people that I've heard say that. Alright, let's try to get these gloves back to try. I think it's 38 crowns. We'll just go one attempt at a time here. I can't really spare the inventory slots. So 34 stack, that's plenty good. It is indeed 38 crowns. Hopefully it goes this quick. We're 0 for 3 already. This will be exactly average. Here we go. Nope, we need 38 more crowns. And we also need to heat up another stone. Let's do the one. Does that work in TOA? Because I'm pretty sure TOA has the kill switch for logging out. I think I heard it was TOA, yeah. Maybe it was TOB they were talking about, but I want to say it was TOA. I don't remember now. Now you got me thinking. It could have been TOB. I'm pretty sure it was TOA they were talking about, though. I don't know. Okay, number 5. Goes now, right? There it is, okay. Alright, we are back to having some okay DP. Only took one additional fail as well. Alright, 308. We're one shy of the 309 bracket. We're actually two shy because there's the DP thing going on, but that's alright. Our focus now will be potions. We're just going to go super hard on them. I think I'm 17 pities from the second potion piece, and then we'll go for the third. Then we'll finish out the mana potion to get rid of these 2 inventory slots, and then we'll go back to gear after that. So, pretty big detour here, but I gotta remember to stop clicking the foot thing when I move the mouse off of RuneScape to do something else. For some reason, I just keep going, and I end up clicking on a bunch of stuff. Alright, we gotta go back to trees, so I need a skill instructor, who I believe is over here. Go back to succession, though maybe we'll try archer. Do we want to go on archer today? Moves you from members only content, so that sounds like it would work. It definitely works for one of the 2, I just don't remember which it is. Happens to me, I gotta wait till 2026 till I can say it works. Brother. Feet addicted to Osers. We gotta make progress, man. I can't not make progress. That's crazy talk. Wait, we have 6 Layla's pedals on this guy. Maybe we'll stop by the Layla pedal lady. My horse is 5,000 meters away. It's a little far, I would say. By the way, I don't know if you guys are keeping up with the T-Pop group Hardcore Ironman, but they literally just lost a life. They just went to 4 out of 5. Because Seder died at Fossil Island. His AFK at Fossil Island got clapped up. Okay, what do we go? Medaya? We go Medaya? Yeah, I think we go Medaya. Well, no. We go Serenity. That's faster. Who's in the group? It is T Papa, Slater, No Monkey, Jesse, and the other guy. What's his name? This guy. Even though it won't show me his name when I'm hovering over it. Please hold. Tasty Life is the 5th. But they just started a group hardcore like 4 days ago. Another... Why are there so many bots today? That's the... What? Why are there so many bots today? Hello? I respected Gnome to do Iron? Yeah. He seems to be enjoying the hardcore, I don't know. Kelly says Iron isn't fun. He is the most progressed in the group, so clearly he's having fun. He's like had the most total level the whole time, since day one. And he's been pulling like super long streams, so I think he is having fun with it. I don't know. I don't really watch Gnome Monkey though. I mostly just watch T-Papa. I think he's pretty entertaining. Can't use a foot pedal, but maybe glasses. When I blink it clicks. In order to like do something else and use a foot pedal, you really have to have two PCs. It's like, it's pointless if you only have one, to be honest. Because then you can't do anything with your mouse, so you can't do anything with the PC, so you may as well just click. You know what I mean? Kind of Soul Wars for most of the days, I'm pretty sure. I think he started 2 days ago at Soul Wars. But before that, he was like grinding hard on quests and stuff. Got his Defender like yesterday, or the day before maybe. Looking to get a new PC? Oh yeah, that's right. You could get a foot pedal, I guess. They're kind of hard though. Like, I tend to tap my foot anyway, so it's pretty easy for me to adjust to. I can like literally just do it for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes I do have to switch to a different foot though. We need an easy tier 4 failure here. Please, easy T4. Please. Let me actually double check the Ranger and make sure she doesn't have enough Laylas. Only one. Okay, we're good. Please give me a tier 4. Easy Radiant right here. That's not. That's also not. Archer's bad luck, man. Their OS software that lets you have 2 mouse cursors at the same time? What the heck? I'm using years though. Last time was Windows Vista, I think. That's yeah, that's pretty outdated by now, right? It's like a 20-year-old system or a 15-year-old system. The finding a program that would actually like left click as a hotkey is kind of a pain as well. I had to download a mod from Elgato. Cause like there's no just like hotkey for left click that you can assign. It's really weird. This horse is fast. Speedy boy. I had 3,300 alks or 3,500 alks at the start of today. Like 2.5 hours ago, and I'm down to 1,500 now. So we're doing okay. I'm not doing 1,200 an hour, but we're doing okay. I'm gonna run out of nature runes, but I got an order on more. Arsha for life, apparently. Nobody bothers me on Arsha, it's weird. Instead of getting a GeForce 4060, I plan on getting a Asus Dual RX 7800 XT. That sounds like some AMD graphics cards. I don't know anything about AMD. Despise Asus. I think I have... None of my monitors... Well, I guess my main monitor is an Asus. 260 hertz, 1440p. It's like a 4070 Super, I think I saw. I'm not sure how that all works. I know that like BDO and AMD graphics cards don't really go together that well. They tend to have a lot of issues, but I don't know if that's the case with every game or just BDO. It very well could just be BDO. Went to retag my Guardian because of gear upgrades and got hit with the 191 Marty fuel. Oh man, tragic. Yeah, the event has been over for like 3 weeks now, I think, right? Something like that. Bad business practices over the years really come out? Yeah, that's fair. Is there issues so far with my AMD GPU? Interesting. I guess I don't know how many people play BDO with an AMD GPU. I haven't heard it from that many people either, but only, I think like 3 or 4 people I've heard have trouble with AMD stuff. GPU specifically, the CPUs are really good. I don't know how Archer's gonna go, but we'll try it. Hopefully this goes well. Fingers crossed. I don't really know enough about Archer, I think, but we're gonna make it work. It's gonna be okay. Pets are not great, but we'll make it work as well. Take out your weapon, please. I already forgot how to play Archer. $6900 XT, Ryzen 7 7700. I still played a Rambudo really smooth, yeah. The X3Ds are like insane for gaming. It's so crazy. I don't know. Indeed, Ryzen 7 7700 X. Interesting. Samesies. I've got like kind of overkill for gaming, I think, with the i9. But you know. The reason most big tech YouTubers dropped Asus, I didn't even notice. I don't like really watch that stuff, but maybe I'll look into it. Kind of interested. Work laptop has the same specs as my desktop, and for some reason has issues with BDO sometimes. 4080 Ti, i9 5900K. Desktop has 128 gig of RAM though. It's because they're not the same. A 4080 Ti in a laptop isn't the same as like a 4080 Ti in a desktop. And the reason is because of power draw. They cut way back on power draw on laptops because they don't have cooling. They can't like keep up with the cooling, so they heavily reduce power draw. And therefore performance is cut down. That's the main thing that holds back higher end hardware, is just the amount of power it can draw before it melts itself. Pretty interesting stuff. The like technicals behind like CPU voltage and stuff. It's really interesting. And from AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. Hope I feel the difference. You should. You definitely should. For i7 6700K. It's just the generational gap a big upgrade for you? That's something that gets underestimated a lot, is like the generations, even though they're the same technically, like technology advances are pretty huge. It cost me around $2,000-ish. For me, that sounds pretty good. But my PC was like $5,000-ish, so... 128 gig, 500 megahertz RAM to 200 megahertz 128 gig was the same feeling. Everything becomes so snappy. Are you on DDR4 still, or is that DDR5? Because DDR5 is supposed to be nuts. It looks like DDR5. Looks like you went from DDR4 to DDR5. DDR5, yeah, it's so good. Huge technology upgrade there. I'm still on DDR4, unfortunately. And I was thinking about upgrading at some point. But then they announced the 50 series GPUs, and I'm like, well, may as well wait for that. Because you know that'll be like a similar price to the 40 series now, if you wait until it comes out. DDR5 is between 48 and 6. That's 6 myself, had 2400 before. Crazy, mine's 36 right now. But I don't have like an insane amount of RAM, I only have 16 gigs, and it's plenty for me. So there's something to wait for, true that. But I have a 30 series card right now. Maybe I'll just stick with odd numbers or something, I don't know. I also don't have the money to spend, so there's that. If we continue at the current rate on YouTube/Twitch, it will take approximately 10 months to save up. If you include what I already have saved, so it'll be a bit. $7,200 megahertz, that's so fast, man. Pretty sure his cards still hold up well. Yeah, mine does okay. It's not like great though. For what it is, it's not great. I might have just got like a bad card though, to be fair. I got mine during the time where one of the brands of cards was not doing well. And also during the time where New World launched and it was blowing up graphics cards. Because there was no frame limiter in the title screen. We finally got the YOLO title. Lol. $70 at the moment, about time. PC's getting 5+ years old now. Yeah, definitely time to upgrade. Jeez, my throat. My streaming PC has a 2070 in it. And it's nice for that, but I don't like game on it or anything. Faster RAM speeds aren't even better most of the time. It kind of depends on what you're doing. But I think people tend to have a lot more RAM than is needed by a long shot. Like, I don't think there's a person, like, if you're not editing, I don't think you need 128 gigs or even 64, to be honest. That's pretty overkill, but depends on what you're doing with it, I suppose. Like, still play at 1440p with newer games, so we'll stick with the 1080 Ti. Such a big leap in technology for this time, yeah. That thing lasted for such a long time as well. Bad coil line last week, so PC is like retire me. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Don't really want to go with that one either, so. 30 gigs perfectly fine for a top line gaming PC. I have 16 gigs in mine, and I've had no problem at all. Even editing, I don't have any issues. And that's not even DDR5, that's DDR4. Timings and CPU controllers matter more than the gigahertz? Yeah, for sure. The CPUs especially. Use my gaming PC to also render a fair amount of things, so tossing 128 was kind of needed. I do all of my video editing and rendering on 16 gigs. And it takes, a 20-minute video takes like 4 minutes. At 1440p. And that's with BDO open. So, I don't know. Maybe I just have like the god of RAM and it just handles it really well, but... I don't use like Blender or anything though, so that definitely would require more RAM. You maintain Tekken 8 and Elden Ring? Crazy. Gaming PC also runner. Oh yeah, I just read that. Escape from Tarkov was unplayable at 16 gig DDR4. 32 DDR5 is barely okay. I don't know. I never played Tarkov, but I think it'd probably be alright. Virtualization. 2 gigs is nice, fair enough. I definitely want more RAM in the next PC. And it'll be DDR5 as well, which will be a big upgrade, but it'll also be like an i9 and like a 5090 or whatever, whenever those come out. You can always download more RAM. Yeah, just go to windows.com and download some more RAM. Slap on 32 gigs, Kingston Fury Beast DDR5. Don't worry about it. Yeah, there you go. Plenty enough. Tarkov's a hog for no reason. 32 gigs when I had it. Oh man. I've only heard like not good things about Tarkov. The game, I think people seem to enjoy, but I think the execution and the company are things that people hate. I don't know. If I was gonna play a game like that, I'd play Dark and Darker. It's more my speed, more of like a sword and board with magic and stuff version of Tarkov. I'm not really into the shooter stuff. For 69 magic. What's the gear looking like? Oh, I don't have the gear tagged on the archer, so you probably want to do exclamation gear. But imagine that the duo bigs are try again, because we just got those back to try. But I haven't retagged since we got the upgrades, so I can't actually show you. How come it's not tagged? Because I'd have to untag and retag, and it's just a waste of money. I can grind all the same spots on archer, so... And we actually just finished repairing one of the pieces yesterday, so I wouldn't have been able to retag until yesterday anyway. But I'm probably not going to. Reroll day is next week, so we'll probably just stick it out. Got to change the title or keep it until stream ends? I could probably change the title. I might keep it on YouTube though, so that the people that want to participate in that or listen to that know that that's the one. Could probably change it on Twitch though. Time is 6:14 already. At the end of this hour, we'll probably be done for the day anyway, so maybe I won't. Maybe we'll leave it. Figured out how to do the cancel and then immediately forgot how to do the cancel. I think it's this. Nope, it's not it. I don't know. Whatever it is. There's so much more weight to play with on this archer as well. Versus the ranger, which is basically full on weight all the time. I bet you it's on that first arrow shot that we need to do it to cancel. Nope. Good plays, stop playing CSGO or BDO, SRS, and Tekken. And Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a good game. There are people already no-hitting the DLC. And I'm just like, man, what are you doing? I haven't even played most of the DLC. Where's that poacher? That must be it right there. Dollar tier, okay. Marginally useful. No shooter scratches the same itch CS did for me. That's totally fair. I could see that. Is it better grinder, archer, or ranger? It's pretty situational. But I think ranger probably. Archer can do pretty well, but I think ranger has more options for what it's good at. Especially with awakening existing. I think succession is just better at everything that archer's better at. Good at, I mean. And then awakening ranger is just better at like super tanky stuff, because it actually does have a lot of burst damage. Been Counter-Strike for 17 years. Makes a lot of sense, yeah. We're down to 1100 alks. Don't even have enough for 70, I don't think. Maybe though. Escape only for 13, that's still a lot. Longer than I've been playing BDO, so.
Presidio just
Oh, jeez. A Presidio. Sorry for butchering your name, but thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Archer's a little bit more work than Succession Ranger, though.
Side 3RR40 just followed.
Cyberette, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. It's like the prisoner. I don't know who that is. I have what they call NA education, so I don't know nothing about nothing. America. Oh, the prisoner in Portuguese. Okay, okay. I see. That makes more sense. I thought it was like a famous prisoner or something. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you gonna feed an AI all of the streams so it can learn your voice and be used for the follower TTS? Here's the thing. Adobe has already taken all my streams and every clip I've ever put into it. It's already stolen all that. So it's too late. They already have it. They just won't share it with me, if that makes sense. Doing it? An Ironman here at SA server based on my favorite streamer, you? Hey, I appreciate that. Good luck with your Ironman. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely the way I prefer to play the game, so. No black stars. Oh, okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, now I know who you are. Hopefully you have fun with it. What's the opinion about Ironman challenge with other challengers? What they said? If you're interested, if you just want to scroll back to like 30 minutes into the stream or so. We actually started the podcast. It was like an hour long, a little over an hour. Some pretty good stuff. Pretty good conversation took place. Can really hear the alking from time to time. You can hear the foot pedal. I do be going ham on it sometimes. I can hear it. I can hear it constantly. I'll try to chill my foot taps out. I like tap my foot anyway. It's just that it's on carpet and you can't hear it. Sometimes it slips through. Sometimes I do be hitting it pretty hard. But I'm just bouncing my foot on the end of it basically. We're down to 1073. Why Ironman? Because the like main game, the main gear treadmill of the game just gets stale and boring. There's like nothing to do with gear, so there's really no point in even playing the game in the first place because there's nothing to do with it. So I created my own fun, essentially. I gave myself something to do in a game that has nothing to do at Endgame. Why use a foot pedal? I'm using a foot pedal to click in RuneScape while I play BDO. So I am high alching items in RuneScape to train my magic. And I'm doing it with a foot pedal so that my hands are free, essentially, to play BDO. No way? Yes way. A podcast? Yeah. Yeah, if you guys are interested, it happened like 30-ish minutes into the stream. Video soon? I'm not going to be doing a video on the podcast, no. I'll just have the live stream VOD up. One of the others may decide to do a video on it. I don't know. I think Azure said he wasn't really interested in doing a video on it. But I don't know if Gallum or Quinny will. It's hard to say. VOD is after live. The VOD is available right now on YouTube. You should be able to click on it and scroll back. As we're live right now, you can scroll back. If you want to do that. Got 24 followers now. Some Brazilian folks know you very well. Interesting. That's cool. We're reaching all over the world. It's really interesting. I do love you. Hey, I appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the content as well. I have fun making it. You come to Brazil? That sounds expensive. Everything's expensive in America, including flights outside of America. I don't even have a passport. I'd have to get a passport. Should probably get one anyway, to be fair. We are just now having to dump weight, because I don't think I have before, yeah. So made it 27 minutes instead of 6 minutes. Pretty good. We do love foreigners, that's funny. I might have to switch legs soon. My knee's kind of starting to hurt. I think I've been on this leg for like 2.5 hours. Might be time to switch. Alking's not for those that skip leg day. We just did leg day yesterday, actually, so... It just feels more awkward with my other leg. Feels pretty natural with this one, but it feels kind of awkward with the other one. But we started at 60 magic and we're at 69 now, so doing pretty good. I also have 2.7 mil in my inventory. Though I don't know what I spent on the stuff, so... Some marginal profit. We'll have to wait for more nature runes to fill soon. If they haven't already, of course. Have I gotten a single Atanis yet? It's gonna be tragic if we haven't. Ooh, now's a bad time to check. I might die. Yeah, now we look. 1. Great. Depending on the spin, you'll make a good chunk of change before clearing the boss. Yeah, that's the hope, right? Is to fund things. Because if we can just make a cool, like, 2 bill, then we could just buy a scythe or something, or a T-bow. Obviously, that's going to be a lot of grinding, but it's whatever.
Hello there. Wolf and Bear just followed.
Wolf and Bear, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. That's a bit wishful thinking. I don't know what you're talking about, man. A rune full helm outs for what, 29k? So 10 rune full helms is 290k. So 100 rune full helms is 2.9 mil. So 1,000 is 29 mil. 10,000 is 290 mil. So we just need 100,000 rune full helms. Easy. Come from YouTube. Do you know if I can get drops from mobile Twitch? You should be able to. I think it's just about watching. But if you click on your little profile picture and you go to the drops tab, a progress bar should start and it should count toward it. I know that I pretty much always just watch on mobile and it has counted in the past, so I don't see why it would be different now. What's had about 100 mil worth of full rune helms? Jeez, that's a lot of money. Finger kind of issues. It's unusual. You tab on the main, it's like 400 mil. Holy. See, we just got to do that, but 10 times. Not even 5 times. And then we're good. If we do it 10 times, we have a scythe and a T-bow. Here's the long-term play, though. We just become huge as a creator, and then we get invited to Season 5 Galanor Games. And then we just have to make it to, like, halfway through. And then we'll get enough payout to buy a T-bow or a scythe. The long con. The long con. My fingers are hurting now. Can you see a screenshot of my gear in your PM? Probably. I don't have a PM from you though. Unless you sent it on Twitch, I don't know. Because then I don't have it if it's on Twitch. But if you send it on Discord, then yeah. Send on Discord? Okay, fair enough. So that's probably the last mega rare weapon you want. It just looks cool, man. It just looks cool, that's why I want it. Shadow T-Bow come first, yeah. But if we become giga rich, then we can just buy all three. Can't find? I have too many discords? Fair enough. Sword Packs looks way cooler. We gotta do the fashion scape. My hand is killing me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Archer or what, but my hand is actually killing me a lot. Not my left hand though, my right hand. I don't know what's up with that. New melee weapon design in the game. I'll have to look it up, man. What? This hand has never hurt before. I don't understand. I'm not even doing anything different that I would do on another class. I don't know. What was a keyboard? I might have to. Video Ironman, but it's foot pedal only. Did we just unlock Series 3? Is that the answer? I would need another foot pedal though. We'd have to double foot pedal it. But at that point, we may as well just get a dance pad. And do BDO dance pad only. That actually could work though. Just get a class with a spammable hotbar skill. And then have WASD and then the hotbar skill. Foot pedal for movement, bongos for attacks, head tracking webcam for camera. We'd have to play Shy then. If we're doing bongos for attacks, we gotta do Shy. That could be a cool, like, once a week thing, though. Start an account with the dance pad and just play, like, the dance pad account once a week. Be funny. Good exercise. Is there any Discord PM? Okay. What's got highest rank in CSGO using a drawing pad? Holy. Oh, this your Ironman account? Okay. What are you looking to do? This guy is sick loot. Oh my god, Choice brother? No. Blonde Bear is Choice's brother. I'm not Choice's brother, that's Blonde Bear. I'm a lot shorter than Choice. Choice is what, 6'8"? I'm like a foot shorter than Choice. I play a lot of games today because I tense my hands so much using the pen. Yeah, fair. Yeah, looks like you got the quest gear. Pride Altara is interesting. Pride Vista as well. Yeah, next up is just boss gear, to be honest with you. Keep going to bosses. Maybe even do some Night Vendor, but you probably don't have very much energy. And then I would pick an accessory to go for, essentially. Doesn't really matter which one. You could go for tongue grad rings if you wanted to go to karate, but your DP is a hair low for that. So I would quest to get the roaring armor, the chest piece. That's in the Medaya questline. And then if you do the rest of the Medaya questline, you actually get a helmet as well that are equivalent to Duo. But grind same as Choice? No. I don't grind anywhere near as much as Choice. I grind maybe 3 hours a day. Choice is like 12, you know what I mean? Choice is a real grinder. I have a full-time job and stuff, though, to be fair. And I edit videos and all that every week as well, so... 2 taps plus 12 plus 15. Yeah, cranking away at that. Begs for the gloves, that'd be a good choice. Then you can start doing boss splits like as soon as you can and get your embers for that setup. Seems like you're on the right track, man. Ooh, an Atanus, thank you. Put an image of the Soul Reaper axe in the OSS channel. Next stream, I'd like to hear your opinion. What about this stream? Whoa, that's sick. Is that... what kind of armor is that? Is that the Torva armor? Looks like a Torva helm, kind of. I like the purple and green on the shaft. Big from Madness, yeah. Not use the Black Stars, that's probably a good plan as well. They would just rush you too far, too fast, I think. You grind more than 3 hours a day? No, I don't. On like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't touch the game at all. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I usually grind 3 hours, sometimes not quite 3 hours. And if we're doing another game on one of those days, I don't touch the game at all again. But toward the end of the other Ironman, we were grinding more than 3 hours a day every day. Yeah. I was pulling a lot of late nights at Gyffin's trying to knock it out. But the last couple of weeks, I've really slowed down because it's starting to take like a negative effect on my mental health and my life. So I don't even grind off stream anymore, to be honest. And it's trying to turn around my like mental health and stuff. Finish it, maybe I'll make it my main account and pay to win. Yeah, maybe. It's up to you. Your goals could change by then as well, so you never know. Orvo with the blood cosmetic. That's interesting, yeah. Need to beat all Desert Treasure 2 bosses in Awakening for him. That sounds difficult. Question, how do you manage to spend time with your family or girlfriend, if you don't mind me asking? So I don't really have family. So that knocks that out. The girlfriend I dedicate time to, though it's not as much as I'd like. I see her twice a week, so on Thursday and Friday are the days that I see her, and for only like 3 or 4 hours on those days. I really don't see her that much. I work a lot, so full-time job plus all the stuff I do for YouTube and streaming is like another full-time job. It's basically I don't sleep a whole lot, and I only see her 2 days a week is how that works, essentially. The combination of the two things. Look at all your streams, and you only have like 2 days where it's under 4 hours. The others are over 4 hours. I don't grind the whole time, though. Some of that is like enhancing, some of it's intermission, stuff like that. I don't grind for 4 hours. That's only 3 hours of grind. And I only stream 4 days a week, and sometimes it's not BDO. Like today, for example, we will have grinded 2.5 hours. I guess it'd be 3.5 hours, but today was like the podcast day, so we were just grinding while we were doing other stuff. Grinding while we were having a chat. No, it's definitely only been 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Our goal is to be a clue scroll master. Good luck, man. You got this. Seems like you have fun doing them, so... I don't know that I've done a single clue scroll on this account. I don't know. Can you get Pen Magnus? No, I threw away my Pen Magnus. For a normal Ironman, I would take it, but on this one I didn't. Leviathan Awakening is arguably the hardest content in the game. Well, I have nothing to compare it to, so I wouldn't, you know. I'll just take your word. Play the game, yeah. Yeah, we play the game, quote unquote, 4 hours a day for 4 days a week. But actual grinding is 2 or 3 hours on the stream days, I would say. How did you switch? To gamble and you open them? That's fun. Is that your way of gambling? I guess I just get enough of that in BDO. I don't know. I'm sure I wouldn't mind the clue scrolls though. But we also have the Mimic to worry about. The Mimic is on the list, so... And I've done zero research into which clue scrolls I can do and which ones I can't. Presumably it only comes from like Elite and Master, but I don't know that. I feel like now is one of the times you can hear me clicking the foot pedal. Going at it pretty hard. We better back off a little bit. Maybe today, do 3 quests, level up skills, do a clue step today. That's funny. At least it's like pushing you to progress as well. Need to be able to react to prayer switches in 2 ticks while also dodging a tornado, falling boulders, and move around an orb so you don't take damage. That's a lot of micromanaging. And 2 ticks is very fast. I put my darts on rapid yesterday, and it is fast. And that's 1.6, I think. It's very fast. Down to 600 alks. And 3 mil in the inventory. Meet some masters, they don't include access to Mimic? Okay. Tick is 0.6. You got a whole 1.5 seconds, man. That seems like a lot of time. Just slow time down, you're good.
Galamate just raided with 54 views.
Gallum, hello. Absolutely massive raid from Gallum. What the heck? Hello. Really appreciate the raid, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed the podcast as well. A little bit spicy. A little bit spicy. Let me give you a shout out here. I'm sure you all know Gallum. But if you don't, he is also a Black Desert Ironman playing a Musa. He does way more life skilling than we do. I basically don't touch life skilling at all because, you know, not really my thing. Does a ton more life skilling than me. He also is our group Chunkman partner on RuneScape. We started a group chunk man recently on RuneScape, and he is the other half of the duo. So be sure to go give him a follow. Hello, Argos. Got 200 raid right before the podcast started. Fair enough. Get more eyes on it. That's good. Solid opinions from my end, from all sides. Yeah, differing. More differing than I had expected. But very interesting nonetheless. We had to take a detour. I was doing trees at the start, and we had to leave trees and go to Tashira. Because to use push to talk, I have to like just not play the game essentially and just stand in the middle of mobs. And that wasn't gonna happen at trees. So we got 5 pities in an hour at Tashira. So that was pretty good. Now we're back to trees. Enjoyed the conversation a lot. It was nice. It's nice to have. Next time we gotta get people skills in. He's got the voice for it, that's for sure. With the accent. Man, I don't know if I'm enjoying the archer thing. I have 81 alks left. Another element, okay. Things are turning around. I think that's 3 this hour. I don't know what I'm clicking on. Oh. Keep forgetting that I'm moving my mouse. Kicking through those alks for a minute there. I was clicking the type bar in the chat. So I moved my mouse. I'll have to buy more stuff and more nature runes and everything. That's crazy. I don't even think we're gonna get to 70 with it. I was thinking about, we were just talking about doing a dance pad Ironman. Like a day a week, we just start a new account, we get a dance pad, and we just do dance pad Ironman. Really whip me into shape and have something interesting. It'd have to be a class with like a spammable hotbar skill or something, but it'd be a good time. Be kind of funny. I can't dance either though, so it would just be very intentionally like pushing buttons with my feet. But then I gotta put my feet on the internet for free, and I don't know how I feel about that. I've always been told not to give away the feet for free. That's like the only thing I've been told about content creation is don't give away the feet for free. So I don't know, man. Can you come through with the joking I've been doing about a DDR dance pad locked iron? I think it'd be a lot of fun. It would be something I wouldn't take seriously, obviously, but I think it'd be funny. But it would literally just be the same skill over and over again. Because there's no, like, key binding or anything. Maybe I could get 2 skills in there. Can enjoy some Final Fantasy 14 action. Good luck on the deforestation. I appreciate it. I've heard Final Fantasy is a good game, but I've never played it, so I don't know. Enjoy, though. Man, then I'd have to like buy a DDR dance pad and then figure out how to dance. Seems like a lot of work. Final Fantasy is a good game if you're into Final Fantasy story and all that. My favorite game to date is Final Fantasy X. Like, to this day, it's Final Fantasy X. FFX, yeah. It is the best Final Fantasy game. I played most Final Fantasy games as well. 15 was decent. Started off a little weird though, but they like adapted it and it was pretty good. I did not like 16. I like 100%ed 16. I think the direction they were going with combat was fine, but it was basically just a movie that you sometimes played. Didn't like that as much. 15's your favorite? I quite liked 15 as well. Yakuza 0, probably my favorite game of all time. Better Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explosion Sky. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, yeah, that's a throwback. Is this a UIM account? It is. Game always tricks my heart. Played it not too long ago. I haven't played Final Fantasy in like years at this point. Maybe it's something we'll do at some point. Both of them, to be honest, they're both really good. 10 and 15. I'm a bit of a Final Fantasy nut, though. I bought a PlayStation 5 specifically for Final Fantasy 15. I 100% of the game in 2 days, and then I unplugged the PlayStation, and I still haven't. It is unplugged and in my closet. Never went back. They're all super cheap on Steam. Final Fantasy VII Remake is so expensive, though. Aren't there 2 versions of it? Like the Part 1 and Part 2? Because I think I have Part 1. But they recently came out with the second part or whatever. Rebirth, yeah. Got PS5 for Ratchet and Clank. That used to be one of my favorite series. Good old Ratchet and Clank. The first couple of those were really good. I did play the most recent one as well, but I didn't get into it as much. I don't know. Bought PS4 secondhand to play Yakuza games. They had arrived. They announced that all games would come to PC. Of course. Of course. How much money is at Miramok and any rare drops? So the rare drop at Miramok is a Voltara belt. It also drops a Tannis if you're working toward potions. The money, however, is not exceptional. You can make more money like almost anywhere else, basically. But we're here for Voltara belts and a Tannis elements to work on our potions. No belts so far. And I think only 3 Tannis this hour, which is not great. But it's better than 0. So, something. We enjoyed it, but I can say it wasn't the best game. Yeah. The last one I played, I think, was like the Deathlock thing. I played like 1 and 2. And then I think the third one was Deathlocked. On PlayStation 2 back in the day. Good games. Sold the PS4 the next day, rip. hopefully for a similar amount of money. Got cheated to grind blood rolls because of how bad the money is at that spot. If you get a Cagtanak, Amit, if you get a Cagtanak and you make it into a dark red fang crystal, they sell for like 500 mil plus. So for every one of those you get, you're up 500 mil. It's one of the best potion spots you can grind. It's really, really good. PS2 was a go-to console for games? Absolutely, yeah. One of the best consoles ever. Really good. Need the pop piece? You could do a Tannis. The Tannis elements exchange 1-to-1 for whatever pity piece you need. So you don't have to do Blood Wolves if it's really bothering you. You can go the Tannis route. Saw €10 more. Hey. Flipped it for profit. Easy game. We're playing Burnout 3 on PS2. I liked the old Need for Speed series. Modern Warfare, not Modern Warfare, jeez. Most Wanted was the last Need for Speed game I played. It was really good. I like that one a lot. By the time I got all the pity, it's like 30 out of 35 Cactac. Yeah. It's good money, man. There's our hour done, actually. Hour done. What did we get? We started at 55 Atanis, and we're now at 58. So we did get 3. No belts. A little bit tragic. And 8k trash with just a blue. So it's something. It's not like crazy, but it's alright. Could be worse, that's for sure. Now we get the absolute fastest horse the game has ever seen. I know you guys are waiting for it to speed up, but like, it's not going to. This is it. This is the speed. Soundtrack selection they had for Burnout 3 was godlike. One day Burnout 3 remake will happen? Maybe, yeah. Burnout Paradise got us remastered. Surely the better game gets one too. Is it me or is that horse green? It is green. Yep, the horse is green. What type of horses do you breed? You can catch them in the wild, green. This is just a T6 that I caught. I think like a quarter of the horses you see in the wild are green. Yeah. We only have 430 elks left. That means we've done like 2,500 today. Crazy. Don't catch horses, so I don't know, I never life skill. I do it because it's like the best money an hour I can make. So if I need silver, I'll just capture horses and sell them to the vendor. It's like 400, 450 mil an hour, and I can't make anywhere near that grinding, so. Pretty good money right now. That's how we stock up on crons when we need them. Like 288 AP, 340 DP. Best spot for money is Elvia Orcs, and for a Tannis, which spot you suggest? Everyone has a slightly different experience with the Tannis. I've had a really good experience at Proddy Cave. People swear by Polly's, but I've had a terrible experience there. Fogan's is okay. Trees people really love, so you could try that. You kind of just have to try them and see which one's going to cooperate with you and which one isn't. At like Prodi Cave, for example, I get like between 6 and 8 an hour. But at Polly's Forest, I get less than 1 an hour. But there are some people that do like 10 or 12 an hour at Polly's. Just kind of depends on you, I suppose. Don't think there's a definitive spot for a tennis. I bet you they're all exactly the same. As far as averages go, I just think it's about which one you could tolerate the most. I think they're intended to be exactly the same, give or take. Oh, I don't have any nature runes. I'm trying to high up without nature runes, brother. We went through 6,000 nature runes. Oh, my 2,000 bot. We're good. Right back to Alking. Thank you. Should probably be best rock of silver XP. It's not even that good of silver, though, to be honest. It's like worse than Blood Wolves. And Prodi Cave drops Tungrad rings, which are up now, so like that could be decent. Yeah, I don't know. The only like bad money makers would be like Polly's. Tungrad rings are up. Are they not up? Are they not up anymore? Because they were. Tungrad rings are going up. Get back to grinding. They're going back up. Better jump on it, James. Gotta go get them rings. Buy the dip. The dip is already gone. The dip has passed. We're on the upswing now. It's too late to buy now. Now's the time you sell to make another dip. In my retirement arc, pretty much? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't even use the market, and I know a fair bit about the market. It's crazy. I don't know why I know so much about the market, I just kind of do. Guy that bought 700k worth of Intel stock 2 days ago. Is that what's her name? The politician? Nancy Pelosi or whatever. There's like a Nancy Pelosi tracker that will tell you all the stocks that she buys, and it recommends you invest in those stocks. And people make crazy money just like following whatever the heck she does, because she has like insider trading stuff, which should be illegal, but of course is not. So grinding on the main at all, or you all in on UIM? I was grinding on the main, but honestly, like, I just don't care. I had some goals for it, but I just don't care enough. I don't know. So I haven't been playing. Some guy on Wall Street bets subreddit. Oh, that's a bad plan. Lost 200k already. Good. To be honest. Good. Okay, it is after 7. I keep clicking on things. Hello. So I'm gonna have to call it there for today. We will be back tomorrow with more UIM stuff, probably. Unless we make tomorrow a RuneScape day, I'm not really sure. I think maybe we should make tomorrow a RuneScape day, but I don't know. I guess you'll find out tomorrow. I'm like undecided, 50-50. 50-50, flip a coin, that's what we're doing. But really appreciate you guys hanging out today. Be sure to go back and check out the podcast if you guys didn't catch that today. It'll be on YouTube in a VOD, like half an hour in maybe, something like that. But I really appreciate you guys being here today, all the follows today as well, and Gallum again for the raid. And we will catch you guys tomorrow.